Tri-State Shields. The two teams met back in April up in New Rochelle, where the Finest got the best of the Shields, winning 35-7. NYPD leads the all-time series 2-0 and are in search for their 12th national title here today at Don Snyder Stadium. I'm now joined alongside my broadcast partner for today's game, John Heffernan. John, how are you?
Tommy, doing great. How lucky are we to be here? 2 words, Tom. National championship on the gridiron in the month of June. You got to love it. But I got to tell you, it's the First Responders Network debut, and we are thrilled to be here along with the National Public Safety Football League. And Tom, national championship, you got a couple of guys out here that have had plenty of experience at this game, including the quarterback for the Tri-State Shields, who we had an opportunity to speak with prior to the game.
Yeah, 8 national championships for Ryan Davin. But before we kind of get into the X's and O's, let's introduce the First Responders Network. A championship game brings a championship team. We welcome our host and producer of the First Responders Network and our sideline reporter, Crystal Bailey. Crystal?
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be here to watch some football. Thanks for that introduction, Tom, John. We are so excited to be here, but first, let me tell you a little bit about what the First Responders Network is. So we are a streaming network for and about first responders. Content is uniquely aimed at honoring first responders all over the country. It's entertaining, it's transparent, it's authentic. I'm excited because I get to be a host for the network, telling the awesome stories about the hard work that these first responders do day in and day out. And we're here to be able to stream this live on our network. And just to give you a little bit more of an idea of what the network is, here's a little trailer for you. Check it out.
We put the uniform on, we risk our lives every night.
Going left onto 2nd Street, but bail out. Who else is inside?
Let me borrow your bike, man. Right here, we got it.
You're going to the fire. Here, I got you. Hold on.
Come on here. Oh, no.
At first, I didn't think he was going to run.
Stop!
Welcome back, folks, to Farmingdale, New York. I'm Tom Scavetta, joined alongside John Heffernan. John, a great trailer featuring the First Responders Network and an excellent intro of Crystal Bailey. Awesome stuff, and she's going to have a few hits with us periodically throughout the course of the day, some interviews, some nice talk about the First Responders Network and what it means. But you and I are very excited to call this game. We were preluding to Ryan Davin, who we spoke with pregame, the starting quarterback for the Tri-State Shields, 41 years old, used to play for FDNY, appearing in his 8th national championship game here today, first one with the Tri-State Shields.
Yeah, and Ryan's an experienced veteran. He's been through the war as 6'3", 6'4" guy, about 225, a classic drop-back passer. You know, look for him to throw the ball and throw it a lot today. Clearly going to have to establish the run, but you got to like the leadership of a quarterback like Ryan Davin and what he's capable of, and we'll start there with the most important position on the field, Tom.
Yeah, I think we have to, because back in 2019, the Fun City Bowl, Davin led FDNY to a victory, which placed them in the national championship game against the NYPD. And fun fact, that's the last time there was a national championship game. NYPD went on to beat FDNY 23-0 for the national title after losing to the fire department in the Fun City Bowl. Since then, Davin has left and joined the Tri-State Shields. Davin is a guy who we got to speak with pregame. He is an awesome person. His head coach, Jeff Pastore, referred to him as the Tom Brady of the league. He brings about 20 years of experience. He joined the FDNY football team in 2002, and several of these Tri-State players who used to play for other teams still view him as a fire department quarterback.
Yeah, and I think, you know, as you get on in your career as Davin has, it's hard not to think about the future. Brian's got a couple of kids, including an 8-month-old and a 5-year-old, and I think it makes these guys enjoy these kind of moments that much more. So, Tom, going to the other side of the thing for the PD at the quarterback position, I mean, we've got a really interesting situation set up there. The starter today is going to be number 16, Tyler Ryan, but you cannot talk about Tyler Ryan and the success of this team and not talk about the explosive offensive weapons he's going to have at his disposal today.
Yeah, Kyle Johnson and Chris McGrain are 1 and 1A, we like to say. Both scored touchdowns often this season. Kyle Johnson caught a 93-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Ryan in the Fun City Bowl. But our player to watch today is a first-year guy who flies under the radar. Wide receivers coach Tommy Garrity has done a really good job bringing up all 4 rookie wide receivers. McGrain and Johnson also second-year players. But, John, I think one player to keep an eye out for today is Kieran Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he's really emerged, Tom, as a young guy. Was a standout lacrosse player in college, and Shanahan knew what kind of athlete and stud he had in this kid, and has transformed him back to the game of football. He said it took a little while to get to rust out since he hadn't played since high school, but Kieran is a young man who has really emerged at the wide receiver position, and look to him to be a big target today for quarterback Tyler Ryan.
And it doesn't stop there. We also have to mention Nico Ramirez, another guy who plays in the slot.
I love that guy.
He's a Swiss Army knife. Kevin Shanahan will ask him to play anywhere. He started as a quarterback, then transformed over to running back, then wide receiver. Ramirez, he had that really bad injury last year. He had to miss the Fun City Bowl, unfortunately. And 7th-year guy, first-time captain. So talk to the folks and listeners here about his veteran leadership.
Yeah, I mean, he's a quiet guy, really leads by example, but takes this game very seriously. He's a seasoned guy, one of the captains, Tom, as you mentioned, and certainly one of the guys that his teammates look up to, and is going to be playing a very big role here today. And you talked about his injury last year. Nico was saying it just has made him chomp at the bit that much more to get out of the field today, and it's good to have a healthy wide receiver in number 22, Nico Ramirez, back from a catastrophic injury last year, and he's raring to go.
He only had 1 catch in the Tri-State game. These 2 teams actually met back in early April. It was NYPD's first game of the season. They played up in New Rochelle, as I mentioned in the pregame. They won that game 35-7. Nico Ramirez was awfully quiet. Tyler Ryan is going to look to get him involved today for sure. And then defensively for Tri-State, I mean, you got guys like Tony Scarnati, who gives 100% on every play. Very technical tackler. Jeff Pastore said he was a student of the game who used to play for the fire department, so he knows a lot about this PD team. And it's really great to talk to guys like him and pick his brain.
Tony Scarnati, man, I mean, what's there not to love about this guy? He's just so infectious with his language and his passion for this game. He's Stepanak guy in Westchester County. Part of the reason the Shields got put together, honestly, so many cops in Westchester, Connecticut, etc. That's what all started for them 3 years ago. But back to Tony. At the linebacker position, number 52, certainly one of my players to watch for the Tri-State Shields on defense. Tom, as you said, he really is a second coach out there for Tri-State. Coached at Stepanak and played both lacrosse and football in college. And he can be explosive at times. And head coach Pastore for the Tri-State Shield certainly gives him a lot of freedom to roam at that linebacker position. So keep an eye on number 52.
And I think when you look at the national championship game, you don't want to put too much pressure on it, on the name of the game. Sometimes that overwhelms players a little bit, especially young ones. And Tony Scarnati really embraced the no pressure mentality. Keep the pressure off. Just play football, right?
Absolutely.
It's a game. And another guy I want to point out for Tri-State is Raheem Bradshaw, secondary guy who's been lethal for Tri-State. 6 tackles against the PD last time out. He's going to be busy in the secondary because, I mean, you got guys out there like Chris McGrain, Kyle Johnson, Kieran Fitzgerald. In fact, in the Tri-State game where they played against PD back in April, Chris McGrain took the opening kickoff 70 yards to the Tri-State 22-yard line. So NYPD had such a short field to work with, and that kind of
right from the hop
leads us into our keys of the game. If you're Tri-State, don't cut the field shorter for the Finest.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what you were saying about McGrain. You talked about the utility knife. I mean, McGrain's going to be returning kicks today. Yeah. He's got sure hands, and I know you have a little background with Chris McGrain, going back to your college days.
He's a couple years above me in grade-wise, but he graduated 2 years before me from CW Post. I got to call a couple of his games there while we were both students, and he is a very, very tough, hard-nosed football player. Again, he scored the first touchdown against Tri-State back on April 7th up in New Rochelle, so he's a player that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing. And if you're in NYPD, what opens up passes on play actions to plays like Chris McGrain and Kyle Johnson is the running game. It starts with the big hogs up front in the offensive line, and the running game led by their feature back in Danny Roll, who you got to speak with pregame.
Yeah, I mean, Danny's really emerged as a #1 running back for PD, you know, and I was asking Danny about his reputation for his toughness. I mean, he's an undersized guy at probably around 5'9", and but he's got a mentality. He loves to hit. He loves to get physical. His father was a lieutenant on the job back in the day, and Danny credits his old man for raising him up to be the tough kid that he is. Presented a lot of goals for Danny and challenges to, you know, be tough on the football field and in life and to get through it. And Danny's no nonsense, man. He was in the zone even an hour or two out from the game today. And so look for number 9. Danny Roll, the feature running back today. Tom, I see him getting maybe 10, 15 looks today.
I'd agree with that. And, folks, we're going to step aside for a quick break. We'll be right back. Folks, welcome back to Don Snyder Stadium, home of the Farmingdale High School Dalers. My name is Tom Scavetta, joined alongside John Heffernan. It is the 2022 National Public Safety Football League Division I national title game. 25 years of this league, John. It started out in 1997, and NYPD in those 25 years has 11 national titles. They come into this game with a 4-1 overall record, 3-1 in their division. Tri-State 4-2, 3-1 in their division. Tri-State wound up in a four-way tie for second place with LAPD, Chicago PD, and NYPD. Tri-State entered this game via a tiebreaker. It was a PowerPoint system, so that's something to look out for. And for a team like NYPD, that's won 4 out of the last 7 national championships, John. What does Tri-State have to do to hang around in this game and have a chance?
Well, you know, we talk so much about the explosiveness of the New York City Police Department on offense, but, you know, really, to me, defense is what wins these kinds of games especially. And we talked about the play of Tony Scarnati, the linebacker, played high school ball at Stepanak. They are going to have to stop the run game and really take advantage of maybe the undersized nature of some of the players for NYPD, including Danny Roll, and really get to Tyler Ryan. They've got to make him uncomfortable in the pocket, and hopefully that will be enough disruption to create some turnovers for them. And again, Tom, it always comes down to whoever makes the least amount of mistakes and the least amount of turnovers. We saw so many penalty flags in the last game we broadcast and the last game for the New York City Police Department against the Fire Department of New York. Congratulations to the Fire Department, by the way, for running the table, undefeated season. Had the option of playing in this game and decided to opt out, but we are here. The teams are set. The captains are at the 50-yard line, and we are almost ready to go here, folks, with the opening kickoff and the national championship between the New York City Police Department and the Tri-State Shields, coming to you live on the First Responders Network.
Yeah. So it looks like NYPD won the toss. They elected to receive. Their captains are out there. Number 40, Sean Keegan. Number 22, Nico Ramirez. Number 16, Tyler Ryan. Number 44, Louis Basabe. For Tri-State, number 52, Tony Scarnati. Number 4, Anthony Papakota. Number 10, Ryan Davin. And number 11, Bryce Brown. John, before kickoff goes live today, I want to thank everybody for watching us here on the First Responders Network. We are streaming on the First Responders Network app. Make sure to go download the app. It is free up until Labor Day. I think if you download the app before Labor Day, it is fully free. And great people working with here today out in Farmingdale. John, NYPD wearing their navy blue uniforms with the gold helmets, Notre Dame-esque style. Tri-State in their white jerseys with the blue numbers, black pants, black helmets, and it's 1:03 p.m., John, and it is a hot day out here. Right now, I've got about 87 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's going to get hotter than that as this game goes on, and you got to also add quite a bit to the playing surface as well. So things are heating up literally and figuratively, folks, as we are getting close to kickoff here at Farmingdale High School, as Tom mentioned, for the national championship. Tom, I also wanted to give a shout out defensively for NYPD. We mentioned age and some of the veterans that have moved on, and Louis Basabe, as you mentioned, number 44, 42 years old and a captain on this team. And I was talking about the importance of defense. He may have lost a step, but he's one player that I love to watch.
Yeah.
Such a high football IQ and acumen out there, and just loves the game. Absolutely loves the game.
Absolutely. And Jeff Pastore, the head coach for the Tri-State Shields in his 3rd season. Kevin Shanahan, the head coach for the NYPD in his 13th season in that position since 2010, 17th year with the team. And getting set to kick off for Tri-State is number 38, Thomas Woodburn. Heading back to receive, number 12, Chris McGrain, and number 9, Kyle Johnson. And before we kick off, we're just going to fix the scoreboard there for a moment. And, you know, John, I just want to say one other thing. There are a few key injuries in this game today. NYPD without wide receiver J.P. Donato had surgery on his left ankle. Starting right guard Matt Maddox is out as well with an upper body injury. So Jarrett Nadal will start at right guard, and also starting at left tackle for the NYPD. It's going to be Pat Craig likely, we think, over Scott McDevitt. That's a game-time decision, so we will see which one of them takes the field. It looks like McDevitt has his helmet on, so it might actually be him, but we will wait and see. Woodburn, he is ready to go. And we are underway here in Farmingdale, New York. It is an end-over-end line drive kick. McGrain picks it up at his own 5-yard line. He's got some room to run. He's looking to turn it up the field, gets across the 30. He's still going. He cuts it past the 40, and he dumps out of bounds. A late hit on Tri-State, and that's going to be another 15 on top of it. And, John, you want to talk about cutting the field short. It's getting chippy already, and Chris McGrain with an outstanding 44-yard return.
You know, these guys are all jacked up on the opening kickoff, and rightfully so, but, you know, Tri-State cannot make...
No way, you're in
And McGrain was way out of bounds. That was a no-doubter on the unnecessary roughness, late hit, call it what you want. And it's going to just give PD a huge advantage here, and just a tremendous return once again by Chris McGrain.
It looked like number 9, Nicholas Pastore, had the late hit there for Tri-State. So NYPD will set up shop in Tri-State territory. They're going to start at the Tri-State 35-yard line. And, John, last game they started at the Tri-State 22-yard line. So something to note. Tyler Ryan, the starting quarterback for New York's Finest in his 7th season. 3 touchdowns and 2 picks in the Fun City Bowl. Chris McGrain, the man in motion. He takes the snap, surveys, looks, finds McGrain. He is knocked out of bounds there by Tri-State number 15, Nicholas Rodriguez. So 1 catch for McGrain.
And McGrain making his presence felt. I mean, he has hit the turf running. Huge kickoff return.
Yep.
And Tyler Ryan just counters with the first pass of the game at completion to Chris McGrain, number 12, who's far right.
Yep, that was a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3. McGrain, once again, the man in motion. Ryan takes the snap, looking left, throws incomplete, dropped by Kieran Fitzgerald, number 88, who we highlighted on as a player to potentially watch here in this game, John. So that's interesting. That'll bring up 3rd and 3, and the offense for the NYPD, the running back in the backfield, it's number 29, Danny Roll. Receivers are number 12, Chris McGrain, and number 9, Kyle Johnson. In the slot, number 22, Nico Ramirez. The tight end is number 81, Jared Kushner. Offensive line left to right. Number 72, Scott McDevitt, starting at left tackle. Ken McNair, the left guard. Tyler Frigerio is the center. Jarrett Nadal in at right guard. And William Pastupak is the right tackle. I formation set. That is Joe Baccia, the fullback. And he overthrows McGrain. Not sure where that pass was headed, John. And a quick 3 and out for the NYPD after excellent field position.
And so much for Danny Roll getting 15 touches today. Tyler Ryan just coming out, throwing the ball from the jump, 3 passes in a row, that one getting away from him. And it looks like
they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
I guess they've got the field position. Coach Kevin Shanahan rolling the dice early.
Yeah. They went for it twice in the Tri-State game. They failed both times. Roll is the back in the backfield. Shotgun set. He dumps it off to Danny Roll, and he is not going to get there. Raheem Bradshaw wraps him up along with Danny Perez, and that is a turnover on downs.
Yeah.
Tri-State football.
Danny Perez came flying in from the secondary. Got past the PD player, but a hand in on that tackle as well to force the turnover in downs. And now Tri-State is going to get their first offensive series underway with Gavin under center. And I know we talked to Coach Pastore about this hurry-up offense that we are likely to see from the jump. And his philosophy there, Coach Pastore says we want to wear him out early. So let's see.
Ryan Davin is the quarterback, number 10 in the backfield. It is Marlon Beckles. His receivers are number 4, Anthony Papakota, number 0, David Ugarte, Thomas Davis, and Nicholas Pastore. We'll get to the line in a moment. The pass is caught by Ugarte. He makes one man miss, and he is down there by number 45, Ulrich Blaze. On the tackle, picked up about 4, maybe 5 there, and then the offensive line for Tri-State, John, number 83, Scott Pedrick is the left tackle. Phil Johnson, the left guard. Anchoring the line at center is number 69, Michael Ambrosio. At right guard is Paul Myers. Right tackle is Greg Laurie. The handoff here to Beckles. He is chased down from behind nicely by the NYPD. Mike Malone on the stop.
So Beckles gets his first carry of the game. And can't talk about Ryan Davin without talking about his backup starting at slot receiver today, Bryce Brown. Do you expect to see Bryce get into the ball game? We'll see how things turn out with that, Tom. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Bryce Brown had 6 catches when we saw him play against the fire department about a month ago, and it looks like we have a timeout. Tri-State, that's their first. So we're going to have a quick stoppage of play here, and we will see what they do. And John, just want to mention Another note for NYPD defensively, their defensive line, number 58, Daniel Effinger. Number 93, Brandon Ravello. Number 50, Rashawn Williams. And then my highlight player on that D-line for the Finest, number 24, Manny Tejada. The linebackers are Mark Ricketts, Ulrich Blaze, and Louis Basabe, 42-year-old player in his 15th season, anchoring that linebacking core in the secondary. Number 32, Mustafa Young, and number 38, James Ingram are the corners. The two safeties are number 15, Captain Kevin Healy, and number 46, Marquise Artis.
Marquise Artis, one of my favorite players in the secondary. Another player to watch today. Always got his nose for the football.
So Tri-State, twin receivers to each side. Beckles is the back in the backfield. NYPD showing a 3-3-5 here. Davin looks left, throws. It is incomplete, intended for Brown, broken up by Adam Landsberg, the utility safety.
Nice play by Landsberg. Did not take the bait on that at all, stayed close to the receiver and just shut it down. And NYPD defense impressive on that drive.
That's going to bring up 4th down, so neither team able to pick up a first down, and 13:08 to go in this first quarter. We've seen 2 drives already, each only last, well, 1, 3, and the other 4 plays. Not even 2 minutes off the game clock yet. On to punt is Thomas Woodburn out of the Westchester DA. Woodburn.
It's a booming punt
from his own 34-yard line. Fair catch made by McGrain at the 15. That is going to be, let's see if I do the math correctly. That is going to be, am I doing that correct? A 51-yard punt?
Yeah, no, that was close to an NFL kind of punt right there. And back to McGrain, way up to the 15. Booming punt. It's got to be good for a good sign for the Shields.
NYPD takes the field again. We're going to see a lot of I formation and off-tackle runs today, I would imagine. It'll be very interesting to see how Tri-State counteracts that. We'll get to Tri-State's defensive starters in just a moment. Ryan goes under center. Baccia is the fullback. The back is Danny Roll, who takes the handoff. Finds the hole for a moment, and then he's swallowed up. The football went loose. He might have been down. Scarnati thinks it's Tri-State ball. And it is.
It is. Wow. I'm not sure which player got a hand on that, as Danny was coming over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's
and failed to cover up the ball with both hands on that play, but somehow came loose, and just like that, we got our first turnover of the game. Last, we did have a turnover on downs, but this one on the fumble by Danny Roll. Danny's gonna, I know him, he's gonna be upset with himself on that one, but we got plenty of football left to play here in the opening quarter. Danny's gonna get another opportunity to make that right.
Folks, quick shout out again, First Responders Network. Have any comments on the live stream, feel free to tune in. Beckles takes the handoff. He's swallowed up by a couple of defenders, gained a yard or 2. And if you want to comment on Facebook, I should have specified, it is the Law Enforcement Officers Weekend page. You can follow that on Facebook. And a good job there by the PD defense. So you can comment there on the Facebook stream, or you can watch on the app on the First Responders Network that just launched back on May 23rd, a couple weeks ago. And Davin here has trips to his left, receiver singled out right. Davin looking, throws, batted away by Effinger. Nicely done. 3rd and long, John, 3rd and long.
Just like that, 3rd and long. Big play for the Shields coming up. We've yet to see a first down in this first quarter. And Tom, we mentioned the heat prior to the game, and
oh yeah,
that's going to become a factor as this thing moves on. already becoming a factor in the booth here.
Yeah, we had a little breeze before, but now you can feel it coming on here in Long Island. Twin receivers to each side for Davin. He takes the snap. Rolling right. He's going to take off, and he's going to be tripped up there by number 58 for the NYPD. That is Daniel Effinger, who just made that nice pass deflection. And that's going to bring up 4th down. Woodburn will come on to try a field goal, it seems. They'll be kicking from about the 18-yard line. This will be a 28-yard try. As we get the official wording on that. Nope, 33-yard try for Thomas Woodburn. Snap is good, hold is good, kick up on its way, and it is good. So
Woodburn,
Tri-State.
This kid's impressive.
First quarter MVP, first 5-minute MVP.
I'm telling you. And he's got both kicking and punting duties.
Yeah.
Just a booming punt earlier, and now nailing the 33-yarder. Woodburn, my goodness, guy's got a leg on him.
This is not the first time we've seen Thomas Woodburn this season, John. So Tri-State on top 3-0 with 10:30 to go in the first quarter. And we have a lot going on today. We have Crystal Bailey, our sideline reporter. She is going to be having an interview with Sean Mandel, the president of the Tri-State Shields, at the end of the first quarter. So that'll be interesting, folks, if you want to learn more about the Tri-State Shields, a team that formed in the year 2020, consisting of NYPD, MTA police, firefighters from the Tri-State area, as well as police officers, a couple from Connecticut, too. And it's just crazy. There's a couple sanitation workers on the team as well. Very diverse group of guys.
Yes, I mean, you actually have cops playing against cops, which
right.
Not everybody knows. But got cops from Connecticut and Westchester and New Rochelle.
Yep.
Tony Scarnati being one of those.
Woodburn will kick off the tee at the 35. This is a squib kick. It is fielded. It goes off the hands of Young, and he scoops it up, and he's not going to get much room. Actually, he's still dancing around, but a nice play. And a fumble. It's recovered by the Tri-State Shields, and that's a special teams turnover for the NYPD. That fumble was recovered by, it looked like Ugarte recovered the fumble.
And you know, Tom, the Tri-State Shields have really come out focused and fired up. And I think, you know, being the newer team, 3 years in the league, maybe feeling not as respected today as the New York City Police Department, playing with definite chip on their shoulder after that first opening mistake with that late hit. Tri-State has been flying all over the field, creating yet another turnover, this time on special teams.
Hold on.
They are calling it.
It's Tri-State ball, but there's a penalty against them.
Maybe it was after the fumble had been recovered. We'll wait for the call.
So Tri-State will take over, but they'll be backed up in their own territory at their own 46-yard line. So, if I'm mistaken, that's the first penalty of the game. We saw a lot of yellow 3 weeks ago today out in Uniondale. That's about,
yeah, it was too much.
10, 15 minutes away from here. 23 total penalty flags were thrown in that game. 10 of them against the police department, 13 against FDNY.
We did have the late hit early in the game here today.
And this is a run here to Beckles. He's got some room. He stood up by Tejada, gain of 2.
So Beckles getting the call early and often here in the first quarter. Coach Pastore clearly trying to establish the run and wear down this big defensive line for the New York City Police Department. That was one of his pregame coaches' corner shares that we had during our chat.
Yeah, you know, Jeff Pastore mentioned last year Tri-State played in Division II. Now they're in Division I. So the schedule got a lot tougher. They played a game at Vanderbilt University this year against the Chicago PD. Davin with twin receivers to each side. Looking right, thinks about it, and he's going to be sacked and swallowed up by the linebacker for the NYPD. That is, NYPD, that is Mike Malone on the sack.
Yeah, Davin had the unfortunate luck of running into one of his own players right at the line of scrimmage. And I believe that was number 68, Mike Ambrosio. Kind of bounced off of Mike. Mike, a big guy. And down goes Davin. And it's bring us to second down.
It's going to be 3rd and long here, 3rd and 11. You see the second unit of that defensive line in the game for the NYPD, Anthony Lombardi, Dan Farrell playing nose tackle, and Eric Pedroli, number 59. Here comes the pressure. Davin lofts one up to the left. Out of play. Incomplete. 4th and 11 upcoming. And Woodburn will come out to punt.
Yeah, Davin just looked like he wanted to get rid of that one. Feeling some pressure. And really a defensive battle for the most part here in the opening quarter.
Absolutely. And back to return again, it's McGreen and Johnson. NYPD already 1 turnover on special teams, 2 within the first half a quarter. There's 8:28 to go in the first quarter. Woodburn will punt from his own 45. This is a sky-high kick fielded by McGreen at his own 15. 40-yard punt. There's a penalty flag following the 7-yard return. And let's see who it's on.
And a nice tackle by Lamont Gibson for Tri-State. Lamont's with the New York City Police Department, one of the few New York City Police Department players that are actually on the Tri-State Shields.
And it looks like it's going to be a illegal use of hands against NYPD. So that's the first penalty against them. 1 penalty apiece. And if I'm looking correctly at the O-line right now,
Shields up 2 penalties.
we don't have a 65 for the NYPD offense. We'll get to the Tri-State Shields defense after this play. They've barely been on the field, John. Tyler Ryan, shotgun set throws. This pass is caught by Nico Ramirez. He's got some room, and he's got some speed, and he's got a first down.
Nico had to fully extend and make that reception.
Yeah.
Great catch by Nico Ramirez, and it's the yards after catch that's impressive as well. And Nico's going to come off for a change in personnel.
So Ramirez gets the first down. Malik Williams on the tackle. That Tri-State defense on the line. It's number 1, Ivan Bonji, and number 40, Jay Lacayo, the 2 defensive ends. The defensive tackles, number 58, Kamar Giddin, and number 16, Joe Hernandez. The linebackers are Tony Scarnati, number 52, Brian Malone, number 44, and Danny Perez, number 8. The secondary, Raheem Bradshaw and Nicholas Rodriguez are the corners as Ryan throws. Ramirez unable to make the one-handed catch. And the safeties for the Shields are number 2, Malik Williams, and number 6, Sean Kern.
Tyler Ryan not looking quite like himself out there here in the early going. Hard to get the rhythm. He's got a lot of zip on that football, Tom, but he's been a little off target.
When we talk about Tyler Ryan, we talk about a pure pocket passer, incredible player who plays attention to detail. He's very calculated in his decisions, but he's not mobile. If you pressure him, he has a tougher time escaping than your average quarterback that is more mobile. Trips to the right here for the NYPD. Roll in the backfield. Ramirez singled out on the far side left. Again, 2nd and 10. Mike Miller makes the catch on the screen. He's got some room. He gains 3. Not much cooking there, John.
And it looks like there's another flag on the play as well. Unless that was an inadvertent one.
No flag.
No flag? Okay. There was one on the turf.
And you see they have the tents up here. The NYPD defense sitting under the tent right now trying to stay out of the sun. It is getting hotter, and I'd be shocked if it's not 90 yet.
That's certainly the hottest ticket in town right now. A spot on that bench underneath the umbrella or the tent. Small tents set up throughout.
So Miller was not given forward progress. Therefore, it's 3rd and 9. Ryan has some time, and he is sacked. Nicely done by Tri-State. That's number 97, Kenny Johnson, out of the New York State Corrections Department on the sack.
Nice job by Kenny Johnson. Johnson, a big guy, kind of anchors that D-line for the Tri-State Shields. Tom, I am surprised by how well Tri-State has stepped up here, kind of sliding into this game at the 11th hour. Not a whole lot of time to prepare. The last time they played football was 3 weeks ago.
Mike Sheridan got hit late after a questionable coffin corner punt. If this is, I don't know if this is roughing or running into the kicker. We'll wait and see. Or if it's offsides maybe on Tri-State. Let's see.
Penalties against Tri-State. Roughing the kicker is the call.
Roughing the kicker is the call. But if that's the call, then
that should be a first down.
It should be a first down for NYPD. I don't know why the punting unit's back on the field. Okay, so it's a 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty.
That's odd.
It went from 4th and 11 to 4th and 6. That doesn't make any sense. For roughing into the kicker, 5-yard penalty would be running in. Sheridan takes the low snap, boots it away, and it is going to take a friendly NYPD bounce. Ugarte has to scamper back, and he just has to let it roll out of play. Good punt there by Mike Sheridan, and Tri-State will take over at their own 24, John, and that was a 55-yard boot by Mike Sheridan.
We've seen a couple of big-time NFL punts today.
5:49 to go in the first quarter. Tri-State will take over. So far, John, it's been lackadaisical type of offensive play. I wonder if the weather is getting to these guys a little bit.
Well, I mentioned Tri-State 3 weeks since they've played a football game, and it's NYPD that looks like the rusty team. I mean, that was an emotional loss to the fire department of New York, and hard to shake that one off. Perhaps that's playing a piece in some of this as well in terms of the slow start for NYPD.
And Beckles breaks 2 tackles. Good shifty play. He's tackled by Artis after he picked up about 4 hard-earned yards. That was Artis on the tackle, and we have some comments here in the comments section. Noah Deibler, thank you very much for the comment. Maggio Peter, Ricky Cardenas, FDNY linebacker. We saw him 3 weeks ago in the Fun City Bowl watching, commenting in the stream. Folks, make sure to share this live stream with your friends and family. Share the app, the First Responders Network, where you can watch all sorts of content, not just football games, anything, documentaries, live interviews, feature segments. Ryan Davin takes the snap, throws over to his intended target. That is Thomas Davis, makes a couple of men miss. He is brought down by James Ingram, and he's got the first down.
Tony Davis, Suffolk County Police Department. Man, he's got some shifty moves back there, turning nothing into something.
So, fun fact about Thomas Davis, John, and we saw this in the fire department game. He had a nice little catch and run there for a big gain. Broke the top off a stout fire department defense, so he has the ability to make plays, making one right there for his team. Tri-State still leading 3-0 with 4:10 to go in the opening quarter. The man in motion is Anthony Papakota. Davin looks, fires, caught. Nice catch made by Bryce Brown. There's his first catch.
Bryce Brown, probably just one of the best pure athletes on this Tri-State Shields roster, in my opinion. The guy can do so much, both at the quarterback position, slot receiver. The guy's played overseas. He's bounced around in a semi-pro career.
2nd down and 1. Papakota in motion. Davin. Handoff to Beckles. He is slammed by Tejada. Nicely done by that PD defensive front in the trenches, John. It'll bring up 3rd and 1, so no gain. And, you know, you talked about Bryce Brown. So Brown played football in Europe. He was an Arena League player. And he feels more relaxed playing receiver in the slot rather than quarterback. He played quarterback against NYPD in the first game, and he's had an interesting journey to this point. He was a wide receiver in college at Sacred Heart University. Then he transferred to Western New England, where he played quarterback. So, versatile guy.
Yeah, he's also spent quite a bit of time on the phone this week with Ryan Gavin. The two of them talk every day of the week, at least a couple hours a day, and it just goes to show you the commitment that these two have, both in the receiver, quarterback roles, and maybe we'll get a chance to see Bryce Brown under center at some point here today. Clearly brings a more dynamic running approach to the quarterback position, and it'd be fun to see that as this game continues to march on here as we get closer to the end of the first quarter. 2:43 to go.
We got some nice comments. Ricky Cardenas from FDNY commenting, Tommy Herrick as well. Time for Shields to finally defeat NYPD, he says. Let's go, boys. Laser
Tommy
focus.
Herrick. What up, Tommy?
For 7-time Ryan Davin. And Tommy Herrick, former teammates with Ryan Davin, showing some support for his quarterback. And Davin is split out on the near side here. You see this. Brown is the quarterback. They're going to fake the handoff. Brown, play action pass, wide open is the receiver, Nick Pastore, for a touchdown. That is a 51-yard touchdown strike.
And PD bit, and they bit hard. What a call by Pastore. And we talked about it just moments before. It's Bryce Brown coming in at quarterback, hitting a wide open Nick Pastore, the coach's son, with the first touchdown of the afternoon here in the National Public Safety Football League Championship. Wow, that was something.
And I mean, Pastore wasn't open. He was wide open. Like, holy smokes, 51-yard pass from Brown. Davin split out wide. We probably spent the most time with Bryce Brown, John, this morning out of any player that we interviewed. And what do you know?
You know, we talked about, and the extra point's going to be good.
Extra point is good for Woodburn. 10-0.
Unbelievable. I mean, a lot of people that I spoke to prior to this game and leading up to the game this week were giving the edge to the New York City Police Department, if we're going to be candid. I mean, everyone's got something to say, right? But credit to Pastore for the start that he's gotten these guys, and he's gotten them going early.
Yeah.
Nick Pastore on the bomb from Bryce Brown. You know, we talked about Bryce Brown's ability with his feet at the quarterback position. I don't need Davin. I got a gun of my own. And the secondary really got fooled on that one for the New York City Police Department. The other way, it's 10-0 with 2:07 to go, Tom, in the first quarter. Wow, what a start for Tri-State.
Shout out Michael White saying, let's go Tri-State. And guys and gals, if you're commenting in the comment section on the Facebook stream, make sure to go check out the First Responders Network. You can download the app on your phone, tablet, whatever you use, for all sorts of first responders content, sports games, documentaries, feature pieces, and segments. All the good stuff. The network just launched on May 23rd, and we have several representatives today, including our sideline reporter, Crystal Bailey, who will have an interview at the end of the first quarter. Coming up shortly, Woodburn to kick off. This is a squib kick out of bounds. I don't know what that was, if I'm being honest, and NYPD
ended up in the bleachers.
Will get excellent field position. I think, John, that's one of those plays you're watching Hard Knocks, and the kicker just gets a bad part of the ball or something. I don't know what that was intended to be there. Maybe an onside kick. I'm not sure. Tough to see from our angle, folks. That's going to be a penalty against Tri-State, their third of the game. And that interview Crystal Bailey will be conducting is with Sean Mandel, the president of the Tri-State Shields, in just a couple of moments. So, NYPD will get the ball around midfield at the Tri-State 48-yard line. Tommy Herrick, 7-time Fun City Bowl champion Ryan Davin looking good to start the game today. Yeah. That's for sure. Ryan takes the snap. McGrane catches the screen pass. He makes one man miss. Make it two. He's going to stiff arm a third. He's still going, and he turns it into a nice 5-yard catch. That was a hard-earned 5-yard catch. And, John, look who just commented in the live stream. The MVP of the Fun City Bowl, John Conklin.
Johnny! John Conklin, ladies and gentlemen. We love hearing from John. Victorious for the Fire Department of New York in the Fun City Bowl, Tom, as you mentioned. Now watching us on our first ever
Rolls got some room. He stiff arms and he's across the 20. Down to about the 17-yard line. That's a 25-yard run there for Danny Roll.
Well, I told you Danny was going to be upset with himself after that fumble, but he'd get another shot, and he just took advantage right there with a huge run and a first down for the NYPD, who is knocking on the door.
I was correct. 25-yard run for Roll, and this pass is caught by Ramirez.
Ramirez from the left side.
Picked up 3 yards. That's his second catch. Under a minute to go in the quarter, John. NYPD trailing 10-0. Can Tri-State hold them here, though, before the quarter ends? Or in general, that's the real question. NYPD notorious for striking back. They trailed 14-0 in the Fun City Bowl. Ryan lofts one up to Johnson. It is caught for an NYPD touchdown. That is a 14-yard touchdown strike from Tyler Ryan to Kyle Johnson.
And Kyle Johnson with double coverage. You see the vertical leap and the extension. He just went up and grabbed it. And Tyler Ryan, he's got to have a lot of confidence in his receiver in order to do that. Throwing it to double coverage, got to have a level of confidence knowing his guy's going to come down with it, and that's exactly what Johnson did. And, Tom, we've got ourselves a ball game.
Ambrosio will snap here. Or pardon me, that's for Jerrio. Fitzgerald with a good hold. The extra point is blocked. That was blocked by Tri-State number 34, Preston Wogirin.
That's the kind of missed extra point that might come back to haunt this New York City Police Department team. It's been such a close game so far. So score now 10-6. We'll see how that factors in as the game goes on.
Well, NYPD has had their struggles on special teams. You look back at the Fun City Bowl. Courtney was 0 for 2 on field goal attempts. Sheridan had a punt blocked, returned for a touchdown by Evan Flowers, if you remember. The special teams, they got to get it together, John.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Courtney will kick off. Ugarte is back deep to return. And was that the end of the quarter? The clock reads 15 minutes.
I guess
I'm not sure.
Yeah, the quarters, at least the scoreboard clock has run out. There was some discussion, but we're now heading into quarter number 2, according to the scoreboard.
All right, so we're going to have the interview after the kickoff here. That was not really a break between quarters, but anyway, Courtney, end over end kick fielded by Ugarte inside his own 5. He's going to run up with it and he is stumped down at about the 22-yard line, 17-yard return. And at this time, we're going to have Crystal Bailey with Sean Wendell, president of the Tri-State Shields. Crystal, take it away.
Here with the Tri-State Shields president, and this is a new team that was formed in 2020, made up of more than 20 agencies. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. 20, almost 22 at one time. We're down to 20 right now. So,
can you tell me a little about the origin of the team and the amount of agencies and the work it took to get this team together?
It's a lot of work, full-time job. We recruited throughout the Tri-State area, hitting department to department, stalking guys on Facebook, even on car stops, asking guys if they have friends that play football, they're the first responders. While I'm working at the precincts, talking to guys that have arrests, saying, do you play football? Everywhere through the Tri-State area, I've been Connecticut, Jersey, New York, recruiting nonstop for this team.
And you had to practice with all these people from all these other parts of the area. Talk about how often you practice, and to get here now, you're the first year eligible and you're at the championship, and you're doing pretty good. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's a team effort with the coaches and the players. We practice once a week on Sunday mornings. We make it not complicated like twice a week like most teams. We have limited practices, but we do the best we can during practice. 3 hours every Sunday. We're practicing on the field, trying to make it as best as possible. So.
That's awesome. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Crystal, as the first play of the second quarter was caught by Ugarte. He gained 6 yards. John, great interview there with Sean Mandel. Learning more about Tri-State every day.
That's right. Emerging not only in this game, but in this league. And sometimes these things take a little bit of time.
I've got something for you after this play. Davin, shotgun set throws, passes caught by Ugarte. His second catch wrapped up by Ingram. That'll be a first down. And John, when we spoke with Jeff Pastore earlier this week, he mentioned that Tri-State has done something that no team in this league has ever really done. They made the national championship in their first year of eligibility.
That's right. Cannot forget that.
I mean, they played with house money this year.
Rich Pastore loves to tell everyone that, and what an accomplishment it was, and I don't blame him. And also, you talk about playing with house money. If I'm Rich Pastore, I'm telling his guys, look, guys, you got nothing to lose. You came into this game.
Beckles is swallowed up.
And sometimes not having that pressure can be helpful. And Tri-State certainly showing what they're capable of, both in special teams and some special play calling as well.
Yeah, Blaze made the tackle there, and he lost a few. This is going to bring up second and a long 14 coming up for the Shields. You see Dan Farrell there playing with the first team line along with Eric Pedroli, in there with Daniel Effinger and Rashawn Williams. Beckles in the backfield. Davin, snap, slant pass caught by Davis. He is wrapped up, shoestring tackle by Basabe. His first stop of the game.
And Tommy Davis says, hey, get me the ball. He got it again there, and PD doesn't have an answer.
That's Basabe's first tackle of the game. When we asked him about going up against Ryan Davin, the former FD quarterback, in all those Fun City Bowls, all the years they played against each other, he mentioned, look, I still view Davin as an FD guy. 35 years of football Basabe has played. He played versus Beckles when he was on correction, so he knows the opposing quarterback. He knows the opposing running back very, very well. 42 years old, playing in his 15th season. Shout out to Louis Basabe. Davin, twins to each side. Beckles is the back. Looks left, fires, caught on a slant. Nicely done. And it looks like that was Papakota. No, that was Brown. Pardon me. And that's a Tri-State first down.
Bryce Brown showing his speed there, and the communication key between Davin and Brown.
Yeah.
Bryce Brown gets it underneath and converts that into a first down at the 50-yard line.
The handoff to Beckles. He's trying to stiff arm Blaze, but Ricketts and a couple other PD defenders come in as reinforcements. No gain for Beckles.
Man, you talk about a gang tackle right there. All fired up on the PD sideline is number 45, Ulrich Blaze, who came in guns blazing on that last tackle. Woohoo! That was jolted.
Also, want to quickly acknowledge Kevin Doonan in the comments section saying, "Let's go Shields." Throw to number 4, referring to Papakota. Members of Norwalk Fire got your back. Anthony Papakota, captain of this team out of the Norwalk Fire Department in Connecticut. Bryce Brown, also a Connecticut guy from Darien. He works for the Darien Police Department. Twin receivers to each side for Davin. Beckles behind him. Davin looking left, hesitates, throws over the head of Brown, incomplete.
That was a dangerous throw right there. Davin getting away with one, nearly picking that off for the Police Department of New York City was Jimmy Ingram, number 38. Got a finger or two on that Davin pass attempt. So Tri-State will keep the football here in quarter number 2. 10 minutes to go till the first half.
Yeah, that's 10 minutes flat remaining in the half. 3rd and 9 upcoming. Again, Davin, he's referred to as the captain of captains. 8th national championship game he's played in. He won 4 for the Fire Department of New York City. Davin takes the snap, looking left. He throws. It is incomplete, broken up there by Sean Keegan, the linebacker. And Davin, that was a very, very dangerous throw. I'm sure he's seen more dangerous things than that. But.
And Keegan coming real close with the pick, but either way, it will be 4th down, and Tri-State's going to punt the ball away. I'm looking forward to this guy again.
Tommy Woodburn on the punt. So be his 3rd one.
Tommy Woodburn, he got a hold of a punt in the first quarter. That one of the highlights of the game as far as I'm concerned. Let's see what we got here, Woody.
Woodburn, punt nearly blocked. Malone ran into him. That's going to be a flag. McGrain will return the punt. This will be to no avail. It's coming back for a flag. And Kevin Shanahan very unhappy, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't blame Shanahan for that one, but Malone did make some contact there with Woodburn, so I think roughing into the kicker. That's going to be a 1st down for Tri-State, and that's interesting because that
we
happened.
didn't see that in the last when it went the other way.
When it went the other way, it was a 5-yard penalty that moved Tri-State back 5 yards.
It's bizarre.
It didn't make any sense.
There must have been a change of the call the first time we saw that in the first quarter.
The first one had to have been running, and then this one had to have been roughing.
The folks watching on
College
First Responders Network, the referees on the field do not have any kind of microphones, so we do our best to interpret what's going on down there. We want to thank you again for tuning in today.
Tri-State on top, 10-6. 9:40 to go in the second quarter. Davin. Two receivers split offset to each side. Beckles is the back. He takes the handoff. He runs left. He is tackled by Tejada. Another penalty flag, and here they come, John.
I was going to say,
it's
here we go again. This one in the backfield, we'll see. Guessing it's going to go against Tri-State. Yeah.
Holding for Tri-State. It's coming back. 10-yard penalty. It looked like that penalty was slapped on Paul Myers from what I saw from here. That's going to back them up 10. And, you know, NYPD, they're dealing with some injuries defensively. Pete Lazar, 14th-year guy, game-time decision. He's dressed, but he's not out there right now. And Pete Lazar, if you remember, Fun City Bowl, had sacks on back-to-back plays, credited technically with 1.5 sacks because he split the first one with Tejada. But he is a game-changer out there. Not having him on that D-line is huge.
Absolutely. It's a big loss. And we thought he might be able to go today. But that hasn't been the case. And it was the NYPD with 3 sacks against Tri-State.
Shotgun set. Twin receivers to each side. Davin, he's going to take off with it, and he's going to be wrapped up from behind by Brandon Ravello. That's going to be a run for no gain, not a sack for Ravello. 8.5 to go in that half. Second down and 20 for Tri-State. They lead 10-6. National Public Safety Football League Championship here on the First Responders Network. Again, want to shout out half of our production crew flew in from the West Coast, John.
Yeah, big time. We love it.
And Davin might have gotten the PD to jump. And he's going to be sacked. It's not going to matter, though. Will Pierce brought him down. But it'll be offsides on PD. Make that 2nd and 15.
Ulrich Blaze in on the tackle as well. And the one thing the defense for PD seems to be doing a lot better at is putting pressure on Davin, who has not had any time to throw the ball in his last couple of attempts here.
Also want to quickly shout out the First Responders Children's Foundation. All proceeds for them go towards both teams and their college scholarship fund for children of first responders killed in the line of duty. 800 children lost a parent on 9/11. So the First Responders Children's Foundation doing a lot of excellent, awesome work off the field to help those families that lost loved ones during that very tragic and sad time, that day in particular. Davin looking over the middle of the field, hoists one up, nearly caught by Davis with one hand, but Kevin Healy came in with some quiet footsteps, incomplete.
Some trash talking going on there between Davis and Marquise Artis. Davis showing you his athletic ability in that play, kind of just really sacrificing his body, going up with the one hand. And that matchup, 2 great athletes in Artis and Davis, has been fun to watch here this afternoon. Number 46, Marquise Artis.
Timeout, Tri-State. That's going to be their 2nd of the half. So we're going to step aside for a quick break, folks. We'll be right back with more coverage here on the First Responders Network.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. When you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Welcome back, folks, to Farmingdale, New York, out here in Long Island, for those of you who don't know. And in case you were wondering about the Tri-State Shields, if you're just tuning in, obviously the NYPD, we all know, they're consisted of strictly police officers across New York City. The Tri-State Shields held a football combine back in 2020, ended up playing 4 games that year, started during the pandemic. The team consists of Rockland police officers, Connecticut firefighters and police officers, military PD, EMTs, Homeland Security, NYPD, you name it. So some guys in NYPD might be going up against Tri-State guys who are in their own building, in their own precinct.
It's great that way. It keeps the familiarity, breeding some contempt, I hope. Friends off the field, but put all of that aside for
absolutely
60 minutes of play here today for the right to be called national champion. And Ryan Davin, in my opinion, the MVP of this game so far, Tom.
Bryce Brown has looked good as well. Davin, little pump fake. Deep ball left. Incomplete. Overthrew the intended target. David Orgatti. 3rd down upcoming. Or 4th down, excuse me. It'll be 4th and 15. And Woodburn on to punt. This will be his 4th one. 7:16 to go in this second quarter. Tri-State Shield. Some of their charities include the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, Lehman's High School Girls Basketball, Derby High School, Pop Warner, Suicide Awareness, and the New York City Lions Run to Daylight program. Woodburn, sky-high punt, and it's short. Be careful, PD. It's going to take a bounce inside the 20. A friendly Tri-State roll. Pastore downs it at the NYPD 12.
Short, Tom. I'm liking that kick right there. I mean, I don't think how much better he could do. You know, if you watch the angle on that punt, Woody knows what he's doing. Angle the football towards him, so the toe of his foot kind of goes off the point of the football. Create a little backspin on that. Maybe a couple more yards he would have liked to have gotten out of it, to your point, Tom. But Woodburn, man, he's been impressive today.
Tyler Ryan, shotgun set, and we have a stoppage of play. Timeout, Tri-State. And if I'm not mistaken, that's their final one. I believe they took the first one early in the first quarter.
Yeah.
They just took one, and now they took this one. So, to my knowledge, they have none left.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising, as we still have 7:04 to go
in the second. That first quarter flew, but the second quarter, not so much. It reminds me of the first quarter of the Fun City Bowl.
Yeah.
Felt like
no flow to that game, and I say that not because it was anything the players were in control of. It's the most penalty flags I've seen thrown in a football game in my entire life.
Also, a quick reminder that the Division II National Championship of the league is also happening today. The Dallas Defenders are taking on the Roanoke Rampage in Salem, Virginia. That is a 3 p.m. kickoff.
Wow.
So the Defenders have flown across the country to take on the Roanoke Rampage.
That's it, Division II.
You know, Jeff Pastore mentioned a lot of good East Coast teams in this league. He also, and it's incredible how they've been able to get this far. Now, I understand it's maybe not the way they wanted to get here, but they don't even have enough coaches to put guys up in the box. They only practice once a week for 3 hours because guys are all over the tri-state area. They practice from 9 a.m. to noon on Sunday mornings, and you know, you really cut that down with travel time. You're down to like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what Coach Pastore was saying. He said, by the time I break the guys up from chatting with each other, we get about 2 hours of practice in. And one thing about Jeff Pastore, he's a big energy guy and really loves what he does. And it's infectious, you know. And it's great to see his son with the touchdown here today as well. And Nick, who's emerged as the #1 receiver for Tri-State. And
Ryan looks right, throws, it's caught by Johnson, tripped up nicely by Brian Malone. And John, if you remember Brian Malone out of the Yonkers Police Department, he had an excellent game. About a month ago, we saw him play FDNY. He blocked a punt.
Yeah,
and had 4 tackles.
And a nice shoestring tackle right there by Malone.
Folks, remember, you can watch our live stream today on several different streaming services, primarily on the First Responders Network. You can download the app, and you could also check us out on Facebook at the Law Enforcement Officers Weekend page. I believe we're on YouTube as well. Penalty markers, false start, NYPD. And, John, you know, I've got to mention, with Maddox being out today, NYPD is starting 2 first-year offensive linemen right in the middle of the line. Starting center, Tyler Frigerio, and right guard, Jarrett Nadal.
Certainly made a seamless transition. Look like veterans.
Ryan will have trips to his left here. That is Miller, McGrane, and Ramirez. Roll is the back to his left in the backfield. Johnson singled out far right. Ryan takes the snap, bobbles it, throws left, caught by Ramirez. He's on the run. Gets past the 15. He's bobbled out of bounds around the 19-yard line.
That was a healthy hit right there by number 31, Raheem Bradshaw, man. out of the MTA Police Department. Him putting his head down there. And driving number 22 out of bounds. Nico Ramirez has been busy today for
Absolutely.
PD.
Kest Kemp says, let's go Tri-State, capitalize. A lot of Tri-State fans in the comments section, and some of their fans showed up here in the bleachers. You could see Roll takes the handoff, and he is swallowed up nicely. Looked like Scarnati got in there to make the stop.
Tyler Ryan coming to the sideline. And it will be
fourth down.
So kicking it away will be number 11 for NYPD, Mike Sheridan.
Yeah, we know what happened last time. Sheridan had a 55-yard punt. Back deep to return Orgatti. This is a sky-high kick. And it's going to be downed by Kenny Young at the Tri-State 47. That is a 36-yard punt, and Mike Sheridan is unhappy about something.
Maybe he just didn't get enough of that one.
Yeah. NYPD with the Golden Dome helmets. And just an update. I want to tease a little something for halftime. We'll be back. Crystal Bailey will have a quick hit with one of the coaches, and we'll also have an interview with the vice president of the National Public Safety Football League in Tim Kaczynski. So that'll be fun to watch. Tyler Ryan talking about something on the sideline right now with the coaches. But Davin back out there. Brian Grogan saying hello. Davin throws, caught, Orgatti. Stopped down there by Ingram. Gain of 4.
Davin keeps chopping away at this PD defense. And he's continuing to find cracks. Let's see how this series develops.
Pastore in the slot here to the right. Orgatti split out on the near side as well. And Davin is sacked. Daniel Effinger brought him down. Effinger out of the Army from New Hyde Park, New York. 103rd Precinct guy. First time Davin's gone down as of late. Second sack for NYPD. 3:25 to go in the opening half. Third and long for Tri-State, John. This is where if you're NYPD, you want to stop and you want a good drive to end the half here to gain some momentum going into the locker room. Trips to the right. One receiver to the left. Davin surveys, looks, throws over the middle. Intercepted by Mark Ricketts. He picks it off for the NYPD. He's across midfield. He gets inside the Tri-State 40 down to the 38. That is the first Ryan Davin interception and the first Tri-State turnover.
Well, the intended receiver, Anthony Papakota, was led, but stepping right in front of that one for the interception for NYPD. And big turnover right there, Tom. You said you want to see them end this first half with some momentum. Well, they just got the break that they needed.
Head coach Kevin Shanahan mentioned earlier this week, Tri-State's a good team. If you take any of their positions lightly, you'll be in trouble. Last time out, NYPD did not make any mistakes against Tri-State. They had 0 turnovers in that one already. They have 2 in one half. Can they capitalize here, though? They're in a position. Trips to the left. Ryan looks left, looking, finds Mike Miller, makes the catch. Gets across one defender, down at the 30 by Bradshaw. Gain of 8. Bring up 2nd and 2. You know, Mike Miller's a receiver that does not get talked about a lot, John. He's a rookie receiver, or no, second-year receiver. But he makes catches for the team. Flies under the radar. Ryan rolls right, looks, throws. There's Johnson. He makes the catch. That's an NYPD first down inside the 20 there in the red zone.
And here we're getting a good look at the array of options for Tyler Ryan. Working in Johnson. You mentioned Miller spreading the ball around. And this is after a big turnover. A good-looking drive led by Tyler Ryan.
That's the second catch for Johnson. And 2:18 to go in the half, folks. Appreciate everybody watching on the First Responders Network here today. And the Law Enforcement Officers Weekend Facebook page. Ryan running, throws, unable to find Roll, who has developed as a pass-catching back, John.
He has overthrown there. Danny Roll, a lot of fun to watch. Can do so many different things.
Described by his coach, Shanahan, tough as nails. Fun City Bowl, he had 5 catches, had a 3-yard touchdown run. When they played Tri-State back in April, he had a 25-yard touchdown run, so he's been scoring touchdowns often this season. Just a second-year guy out of Seaford High School, very close to the Farmingdale area. And that NYPD offensive line doing a good job, anchored by the left guard, Ken McNair, number 60. He's a veteran out there. Really the lone veteran out there, if you think of it, with no Maddox today. McGrain, the man in motion. Ryan in the pocket. Throwing it up to McGrain. It's caught for a touchdown. That is a 20-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Ryan to Chris McGrain. NYPD takes their first lead of the game.
Yeah, and Brian Malone getting caught off guard there. McGrain able to sneak behind the secondary, just making some room out there. And Tyler Ryan throws a perfect strike. Credit McGrain for getting himself open. And that young man is so multi-talented, showing you his receiving ability there, but it was also his smarts, recognizing the space he had on the field.
Yeah.
Coming out of his route just a little bit. And Tyler Ryan finds him for 6.
And NYPD will take a timeout before the extra point. Remember, the last extra point was blocked by Tri-State. They've had issues with special teams, so, you know, hydrate, think this one over if you're the Finest. Because you make the extra point, it's a 3-point lead, and that's what you want. You don't want to just go into the locker room with a 2-point lead. You want to make it a field goal game.
So we'll see what they decide to do.
And that's Nick Courtney. Big kicker, 6'2". We have a family member of Anthony Papakota in the comments section. Mary Ann saying, "Let's go Tri-State." Again, I'd never like to assume things, folks, but you know, when you look at the last name and it's the same.
That's right. I thought you guys were best buds.
2:01 to go in the half, and it looks like the long snapper for NYPD here. It's going to be number 33. That is Richard Posh. And Nick Courtney on for the extra point. We're also going to be showing some first half highlights as well during halftime following the coach interview. And Posh's snap is good. Hold is good. Kick on its way. Line drive. It is true blue. Nick Courtney puts the Finest on top, 13-10.
Yeah, well, PD gets those 3 points you talked about, Tom, and kind of eradicates that missed extra point from the first quarter of play. So if you're PD, you got to be happy.
Absolutely. Max Austin saying, "Let's go, PD."
We just corrected it. What's the time supposed to be on now?
So it says 1:46 right now on the game clock.
Okay, we'll do. I'll tell him. Okay.
Apologize for that, folks. Having some issues with the game clock. And, you know, it's crazy. Kevin Shanahan mentioned you have to establish the run, play mistake-free football. They have not played mistake-free football.
But they're still in it.
But they're still in it. Jeff Pastore spoke very highly of NYPD's offensive line. He said, you have to stop the run, load the left side with extra defenders to make them run right behind the more inexperienced side of the line. Pastore said that PD's strong point is the trenches. Their O-line has been the best in the league for a very long time. They took it to us in the trenches last time out.
A lot of respect shown by head coach Jeff Pastore for the Tri-State Shields. I don't care what anyone says. Getting a little revenge and was at the top of Pastore's list.
Courtney with the line drive kick. And hard tackle there by the return man. That's Joey Maniscalco on the return out of New York State Corrections Psych Department. Actually, I think he sacked Conklin in the fire department game. That's Maniscalco. Nicely done. Tri-State will take the field here with the chance to tie or take the lead with 1:36 to go in the half. NYPD looking to make a stop. They had a nice interception made by Mark Ricketts, which set up the touchdown to Chris McGrain. So capitalizing off turnovers, that's been key. NYPD also, some of their charities include the Widows and Children's Fund, Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, that's PBA, Detectives Endowment Association, that's the DEA, and the Sergeant Benevolent Association, SBA, and of course the Joseph Pritchard Foundation. John, we talked a little bit about Joseph Pritchard earlier and what he meant to this football team. Davin trying to escape, and he is sacked by Brandon Ravello.
Ravello, big play from a big man, number 93. Gets his sack.
I forget if it was Ramirez or Basabe pregame who was mentioning Joe Pritchard, how they won the national championship on his field.
Yeah, and how much it meant to them. And, you know, of course, Pritchard did lose his life, and they honor him to this day in a game every year. And really just talking about family and what it all means.
And Beckles fumbled the football. It's picked up by Kevin Healy. And there is an NYPD player down, though. Kevin Healy gets the turnover for NYPD. Sean Keegan gets up. Beckles had a nice run up the gut, but it was punched out by one of the PD defenders, and Kevin Healy, the veteran, with a nice play. Second Tri-State turnover on back-to-back drives, and John, this game has turned really fast.
It has. PD perhaps waking up after a slow start. They're on the comeback trail.
50 seconds to go. And we were talking about potentially a 10-6 game heading into the locker room. NYPD now up 13-10 with the ball in Tri-State territory. Still 50 seconds to go. Ryan will have trips to his left. Ramirez, McGrain, and Miller on the near side. Johnson split out far right. Roll is the back. Roll also has a fumble today. Ryan steps up, throws. Caught by McGrain, working the sideline beautifully.
McGrain manages to keep both feet in bounds as he turns towards the ball. Again, spatial awareness key for McGrain on that reception. Such a smart player, showing it again there for the New York City Police Department, and a good pass by Tyler Ryan with a lot of zip on that football, right on target.
And that's a good comeback route. Chris McGrain being aware, we saw that a lot of him in college. And as long as that pass looked, it was only a 15-yard strike. Ryan, empty backfield. McGrain in motion. surveys, looks. He's going McGrain's way again. He makes the catch. He's brought down after a gain of 5.
You don't think those two like each other too much, do you? What a favorite target for Tyler Ryan. And how can you not like what Chris McGrain's done here today?
NYPD takes a timeout. I believe that's their second. 1 left. Still 34 seconds to go in the half, folks. NYPD leads 13-10. Patrick Anthony Rafferty saying hello. NYPD Morrow, number 10. Shout out to Vinny Morrow. Tommy Herrick saying hold strong on defense. And very interesting to see how these last 34 seconds will unfold, folks. As right now with this timeout, we're going to see if NYPD can punch the football in, John, and they've been dominant. The running game hasn't been there as much, though. Danny Roll, he's had some good bursts, but he has struggled a little bit.
He has, but I like what they are doing on this drive specifically.
Yeah, definitely a good drive for the Finest. I mean, you saw the nice pass to McGrain, another one, back-to-back plays. McGrain is lined up in the slot here to Ryan's left. Ramirez in there as well. Roll is the back. Ryan changes directions, fires, throws, incomplete. Intended
close
for Mike Miller.
Miller got his hands on it and just pushed back through the end of the end zone and unable to hang on to it.
It's 27 seconds to go in the half. And, you know, it's interesting because heading into this game, Tri-State has never beaten NYPD. Now they got a lead on them for the first time. They're getting a taste of what it's like to be ahead against them, so you got to think that boosts their confidence going into the locker room.
PD looking to get at least 3 out of this drive. First down, 27 seconds to go.
Ryan throwing over everyone, incomplete, and he just shoved off a Tri-State defender. Not thrilled there with John Truncasco.
Little chippiness there. Tyler Ryan wisely throwing that out of bounds.
Nick Courtney, here he is, on for a field goal, 4th and 7. Courtney. The ball is
will be doing the testing of the field goal. It will be placed down at the 19. It'll be a 29-yard kick.
29-yard try for Courtney. See if NYPD can go up by 6 here. Posh the snapper, Fitzgerald the holder. Snap is good, hold is perfect. Kick, line drive, hits the left upright. It's good, it falls through.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Clanged off the upright and somehow managed to get through. And we got ourselves a 16-10.
I think our producer Joe Ryder's got himself a highlight after that field goal. NYPD goes on top 16-10, 15 seconds to go in the half. Kevin Shanahan probably still not pleased with the way the team opened up the game, but for PD, they got the lead now. And they got a bunch of sponsors, but Tri-State, their primary sponsor, the Kreindler Law Firm, the #1 9/11 law firm in the city. NYPD, several different sponsors. The Nutty Irishman, which is right here in Farmingdale, New York. Tony's Pizza in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Got a couple of places out in Long Island. Englewood Bar and Grill out in Deer Park. Railroad Bagel Express in Babylon. Village Cigar Headquarters also in Babylon. And again, another ground ball line drive kick fielded by the same player. And look at him go. This is Joey Maniscalco. And with 7 seconds left, Tri-State might have a chance to score.
I mean, Maniscalco just absolutely bulldozed his way to the 40-yard line, pushing bodies out of the way en route. Maniscalco, head down, full steam ahead. That got the Shields bench fired up. And Tom, like you said, they might have another crack at the end zone here.
Moving like a bus there on that play. So with 7.5 seconds to go in the half. Again, want to shout out our production staff here, Rob Campbell. Timeout taken by Tri-State, so I guess they did have one left. Now that's definitely their final timeout. Rob Campbell, executive producer of the First Responders Network. Mike Green here as well. Up here in the press box with us, Crystal Bailey on the sideline. An awesome crew assembled for this game. Here on the First Responders Network. Again, if you don't know much about the network, folks, you can sign up for the app on your phone. You can download it for free, and you can get all your favorite First Responders content, including the game here today between New York's Finest and the Tri-State Shields. And the referees blow the whistles, saying, hey, let's get this first half wrapped up. All right, so Tri-State will have the ball at the NYPD 38-yard line with no timeouts. So you're either looking at a quick out here and a long field goal, which we know Woodburn could hit, or you're looking at a Hail Mary, and it's an empty backfield here. I would predict the latter. And this is not Davin. This is Ergati, and the pass is incomplete. And that's going to wrap up this first half. At halftime, the score, the NYPD 16, Tri-State Shields 10. And in just a moment, we're going to send it down to the sideline with Crystal Bailey. She's going to have a word with head coach Kevin Shanahan of the NYPD. And then we'll show some highlights in just a few moments. But Crystal is down there with Kevin Shanahan now. Crystal, take it away.
We have Kevin Shanahan here. Tell me what it's like to be up at half now.
I'm pretty lucky at this point. I mean, we had too many mistakes and that we have to clean up.
Yeah, that first quarter, first half, and that first quarter especially, but you picked up in the second quarter. What are some of your favorite parts about how your teams are playing right now?
Well, the way they were able to come back, the way they were able to put their first couple of plays out and just pick it up and get back in the game and you know, play to their level.
All right, and what are you looking forward to in the next half?
Just eliminate the mistakes and keep going what we're doing this last quarter.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that was Kevin Shanahan, the head coach of NYPD Finest. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Crystal. And I believe, John, just want to get your final thoughts here before we step aside for a quick break. An entertaining first half, to say the least.
Entertaining, special teams a big factor. Turnovers, of course, but I like the resiliency of the NYPD managing to come back and take the lead. They got off to a really slow start. We've seen some good passing. The play of McGrain has been phenomenal today and nice to watch. And I expect more of the same from the NYPD here in the second half.
Folks, we're stepping aside for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some highlights, and then John and I will share our first half thoughts and preview the second half here on the First Responders Network. Folks, it is halftime here between New York's Finest and the Tri-State Shields. NYPD on top 16-10. And now Crystal Bailey is on the sideline. She's with the vice president of the league, Tim Kaczynski. Crystal, take it away.
Yes, Tim, thank you so much for joining me. Tell me a little bit about the league and the history of the league and when this all began.
The league as it stands now, as it is present day, started in 1998, 99. There had been a previous league in the early 90s. Came and went. The New York teams have been around much longer. NYPD, FDNY have had, I believe it's almost 50 years, if not 50 years that they've had teams. So there's a good story with how that started. It was a bar discussion between a fireman and a policeman on who would have the better team.
That's funny.
And that's how both their teams started.
That's hilarious. You were talking to me about how there are 18 teams today, correct? Tell me a little bit about what's required of them, the charities they have to take part with.
So the league, everybody's a first responder. Police, fire, paramedics. There's military personnel as long as they have a first responder job in the military, and everybody's 501c3 charity organization, and everyone also has to have children's charities, which is not hard. As a league, our big charity is Ronald McDonald House, and we've been donating to them for a long time. And like I said, all the teams have to have a children's charity. Back in Chicago, we've got a couple. We use our police chaplains, our children's charity. We have a battered women's shelter that we donate to and do a toy drive at Christmas and do cookouts for them during the year. So everybody's got similar charities.
And this is, obviously groups of first responders from all over the country. There are police, there are fire, there are EMTs, paramedics. Tell me a little bit about what you were telling me earlier, especially on the law enforcement side. You mentioned that some of your teammates, were able to meet other people all over the country who are experiencing the same pains they were, challenges.
When you travel and you meet these guys, and then there's a party after all the games, and everybody gets together, and you start talking to a guy who does the same job in a different city, and he's got the same problems, all the same cares, all the same problems that you got, and of course then and all the family stuff that goes into it, with having kids and then trying to play football and running teams, and it's really nice to meet guys from other areas who have empathy. They know what you're going through, and just a lot of shared experiences. So and then you make lifelong friends with these guys.
And this kind of camaraderie, this ability to unite people from all over the country, I know it has to have some kind of morale impact. Can you tell me a little bit about the story you were telling me, one of your teammates that had been shot, and can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we had a player in Chicago in March of 2021, had gotten shot, and he was okay. We went to the hospital. The first thing he asked the doctor is if he's going to be able to play football again. Doctor tells him you're not going to play football anymore. He played football. He came back this year, and our first game was in late March in San Diego. And it was like a week and 3 days, it was a year and 3 days from the anniversary when he got shot, and he played in that game, which was pretty incredible. And one of the things that he said always kept him going was he wanted to play football again. He knew he'd come back to work, but he wanted to play football because he wanted to be around the guys and do what he loves to do.
And what's so unique about this sport is that there's the same kind of teammate, mentality that you need out in the streets. When you're a police officer or a firefighter, it's the same kind of teammate mentality you need when you're out here on the field. Would you say?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. A lot of us we're Type A personalities, are really go-getters. They're hard chargers on the street. They're hard chargers on the football field. But I'll tell you what, I steal a line from Kevin from NYPD. And he said, we're not football players. We're police and firemen playing football. And it's very true. When you think about it, it's very true. But guys love to compete. No matter how old you are, you want to compete and you want to play against guys and you want to do well. And and then we all got to go to work on Monday. So
And I know there are probably some players out here who actually worked last night.
I was told there because of some of the activities that went on, there's some guys that worked until 7 this morning.
Wow.
And then had to come play a football game, which,
wow.
God
They're
bless
dedicated.
them. That's absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time, Tim. I appreciate it, and it's really beautiful to see, a bunch of public servants getting together, and they're not just playing for themselves, they're playing for, obviously, for children and for charities and local charities all over the country. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Tom, Jim, John, thank you so much. Back to you all.
Thank you very much, Crystal. That was an excellent interview with the Vice President of the National Public Safety Football League, Tim Kaczynski. Very inspiring words and stories. At halftime, NYPD leads Tri-State 16-10. Tyler Ryan with the 2 touchdown passes, respectively, to receivers 1 and 1A, we like to call them, Kyle Johnson and then Chris McGrain. 2 young kids, both in their second years for the NYPD. Very, very good young talent, and they have the ability to catch the ball and create separation from receivers. That's been the difference in this game. If you're Tri-State, they've done a good job minimizing the mistakes, but quite frankly, NYPD has still been able to capitalize. Tri-State made mistakes of their own. They've had a couple of fumbles, Davin with the 1 interception to Mark Ricketts. It's been mistakes for both sides right now. So, folks, again, appreciate everybody tuning in here on the First Responders Network. That is the primary streaming service of today's game. The First Responders Network was launched back on May 23rd, so if you're just watching this stream here today on Facebook, if you're watching on the Law Enforcement Officers Weekend page, make sure to go check out the First Responders Network for all of the exclusive First Responders content. I also want to quickly shout out the First Responders Children's Foundation as well. Always great to us here and everybody, and really appreciate all the support that both teams have gotten, all the teams in the league have gotten. And for Tri-State, again, looking for their first ever national title. With the second half coming up in just a few minutes, they're going to have to be more stout defensively, give some help on McGrain, give some help on Johnson, and that alluded into why Kieran Fitzgerald was our player to watch, because Kieran Fitzgerald is a guy who's a beneficiary of when the attention goes on receiver 1 and 1A. So that's what I think is the key to the second half. Slowing those receivers down and pressuring Tyler Ryan. They have a young offensive line that doesn't, maybe not their regular starting unit without Matt Maddox. No Pete Lazar, no J.P. Donato at receiver. It doesn't matter. This NYPD team is deep. They are very, very deep. And as John Heffernan stated before, Jeff Pastore said, we're just excited to be here. We're excited to be here. We're excited to be in this game. Each team played 3 weeks ago today. NYPD lost in the Fun City Bowl to the Fire Department of New York, 29-27 out in Uniondale, New York. And then Tri-State Shields took on New York's boldest, the Corrections Department of New York City. They beat them by a score of 31-8, which was arguably their best performance of the season. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how the second half unfolds for both of these squads. And I'm just looking at my stat sheet here and some of these stats. The ball has been spread out beautifully. We're looking at Nico Ramirez, Chris McGrain, Kyle Johnson, Kieran Fitzgerald, you name it. But that's going to be the key to the second half. Can Tri-State slow those weapons down and minimize their mistakes? I'm going to come back here in just a few moments, unless, John, you want to add anything before we step aside for a final break?
Do a final break and
all right, so, folks, again, at halftime, NYPD 16, Tri-State Shields 10. We're going to step aside for another break, and when we come back, we'll have second half action between New York's Finest and the Tri-State Shields.
We put the uniform on, we risk our lives every night.
Going left onto 2nd Street, but bail out. Who else is inside?
Let me borrow your bike, man. Right here, we got it.
You're closer to the fire. Here, I got you. Hold on.
Come on, Nick. Oh, God.
first, I didn't think he was going to run.
Stop!
Folks, welcome back. Second half coverage. New York's Finest and the Tri-State Shields. Tom Scavetta, John Heffernan on the First Responders Network. John, your first half thoughts here, and what does Tri-State have to do differently in the second half?
Well, Tri-State came out and played a smash-mouth brand of football and got on the board early, looking really good on that play to Nick Pastore. And NYPD's just come storming back and took the lead. And I like the momentum that they're starting the second half with, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And the kickoff fielded there by Jamar Edwards for Tri-State. They'll start off with the football to start off this second half, and NYPD on top 16-10 over the Tri-State Shields. Kevin Shanahan had a halftime hit there with Crystal. We heard from VP of the National Public Safety Football League, Tim Kaczynski. It's been a great day for football. I mean, hot one, but still nice out. Tri-State today without Keith Hennon, suffered a shoulder injury against the Corrections Department in that game, last game of the regular season. Even without him offensively, that's Davis in motion. That's where Davin's going. He makes the catch on a little swing route. He's bumped out of bounds by Ricketts. Gain of 5. Third catch for Davis. John, Mark Ricketts had a good first half. He had that interception, set up the NYPD touchdown to help them take the lead. And it looks like everybody's still the same out there on that O-line for Tri-State. Davin in a shotgun set. Davis, the man in motion. Takes a snap, looking right, pump fakes. He's going deep. This is Pastore. Sailed over his head. Incomplete.
Just a little too much on that pass from Davin.
Good job by defensive coordinator Bill Sullivan for New York's Finest 2022 Hall of Fame inductee for the team. Offensive coordinator Clive Harding has done a good job as well for NYPD. And their president, George Burke, team president George Burke of the NYPD. We got to speak with him 3 weeks ago.
Good man.
Good guy. You know, we talked a lot in that Fun City Bowl. Davin here in a shotgun, twin receivers, 3rd and about 5. NYPD jumped. John, what do you think? I think Tejada jumped across too soon.
Looks that way. It's going to back up the Shields.
And that will be a first down.
First down, Tri-State. Dan Farrell checking into the game.
First and 10 will place down.
Number 74.
34.
Again, home of the Farmingdale Dalers. We're at Farmingdale High School here. Don Snyder Stadium. Beautiful field. Davin has twin receivers. Beckles in the backfield, Ulrich Blaze showing blitz, and here comes the Finest, and that pass, Davin couldn't get past his first read.
Intended for Papakota.
Pass incomplete.
Let's take a look at the live stream here.
Second and 10 coming up.
And so we got some PD comments as well. Gregory Abro saying hello. And it looks like Davin will have 3 receivers to the left, and this is Bryce Brown in motion. He threw the touchdown to Pastore in the first half. This is Brown who makes the catch. He gets by Artis. He's still going. He's got a first down, and Basabi finally brings him down at midfield.
Louis Basabi jumping all over the back of number 11 for Tri-State, Bryce Brown. 42-year-old number 44, Louis Basabi. Great guy.
And Tri-State at midfield here, first and 10, 13 and a half minutes to go in the third quarter. Davin takes the snap. Hands off to Beckles. He is stumped by Will Pierce, loss of 2.
At some point, if this offense continues to stall down by 6, will we have a Bryce Brown spotting again under center for Tri-State? And I think that's something that Pastore is going to have to consider as this third quarter continues to march on.
It could
Even
happen.
though I called Davin one of my MVPs of the game so far, but they want to win. They're going to have to start to mix it up here a little bit.
Second and 11.
Second and 11 for Davin. And the handoff to Beckles and the wishbone there, and he's stumped hard. Good job. Basabi was there first, and Tejada cleaned up the rest. That's the second run for a loss in 3 plays. And here comes big number 25, Pete Lazar, into the game.
There he is.
Big Pete, 14th year. He's a boxer, too.
He is. Big, big man.
Remember last year at MetLife, John, you're standing there with him and you're taking the selfie at MetLife Stadium.
That's right. I told him he needs to get into WWE. I mean, he's got a big personality, a big man, charismatic guy, and a good football player. And he's got little fighting skills, too.
Yeah, he's got a good first punch as it takes 2 guys to block him. Davin delivers it to Beckles. He's wrapped up by Keegan, gain of 4.
You know, you gotta love Pete Lazar's footwork too, and his stance. He's a real student of the game. Works on lots of different aspects of his footwork, the way he lines up.
NYPD was 4-0 before the Fun City Bowl with wins over Tri-State, LAPD, Corrections Department, and the San Diego Enforcers out in California. Tri-State started off the season beating the LASD, lost to the NYPD, beat the Chicago PD at Vanderbilt Stadium, lost to the FDNY at Bethpage High School, beat Columbus and Corrections to wrap up the season. Woodburn with a punt, Fair catch made by Johnson. 34-yard punt by Woodburn.
15-yard line. Ladies and gentlemen, last call for raffle tickets. Last call. For Raffle 4 tickets to New York Yankees game and 2 tickets to New York Mets game. Raffles at $10 a piece.
And, you know, all these charities, all the proceeds are going to today for a good cause. Some more for NYPD, Uptown Taco, United Mortgage Corporation of Wantagh, YesMenOutfitters.com, Jackie Riley's in Bethpage, and Gibraltar Motors Incorporated in Floral Park. AccuHealth Group as well. A lot of good sponsors for the Finest. Tri-State has a good amount of charities, as well as NYPD. Again, we'll see what they do here, and it's a run to roll. Player lost his helmet. Chris Sullivan comments saying, "Let's go NYPD. I am friends with the punter." Very cool.
Very cool.
Also, Patrick Donahue with the comment, "Thank you for the broadcast. NYPD alum, 1999 to 2018. And Patrick, your last year playing was my first year calling this game." Danny Roll in the backfield, and this is O'Connell. Anthony O'Connell, number 13, is checked into the game.
New quarterback.
O'Connell rolling left, throws, caught by Ramirez. He is decked by Brian Malone.
That's a healthy hit by number 44 for the Shields, who was all that hit. Big time hit from number 44 for the Tri-State Shields. Brian Malone. He's rocking the red. He's rocking the red towel. I think he might even have a red headband on underneath that white jersey.
Out of pants. Yonkers, New York. Same town as our director. Or our producer, I should say. O'Connell in a shotgun set with a new running back. Oh, no, that's still Roll. O'Connell rolling right. He's got some time. There's a penalty flag. Incomplete. I think this is a late hit against Tri-State. You have to wonder what's going on with Ryan.
Yeah, I was wondering your thoughts on the O'Connell insertion here in this third quarter. Find it kind of curious, but
trying to see if I see Ryan. Oh, there he is. He looks fine to me. Ryan looked good in the first half. Had the 2 touchdown passes. He came out slow to start, I will say. It's an interesting move in the championship game like this, at this stage. Tri-State unhappy. So NYPD heading back out there. This time O'Connell will have trips to his right, and Fitzgerald is singled out on the near side left. O'Connell in some trouble. Can't escape. He's brought down by 3 Tri-State defenders. John Troncasco was the first to initiate contact. He'll get credited for the sack.
O'Connell had absolutely no time on that one as the pressure came fast and furious from the Tri-State D-line. Did they show blitz on that, Tom?
I believe they did. Sheridan onto punt. And a timeout called by the Shields. Tri-State had too many men on the field. Special teams coordinator Frank Altieri furious, along with Jeff Pastore. I don't blame him. All right, we're going to step aside for a quick 15-second break. We'll be right back.
safe, look after yourself, and look after one another.
Welcome back, folks.
Wow.
To the national championship of the NPSFL Division I, NYPD Tri-State Shields. And John, the historic stadium, Don Snyder Stadium.
Yeah, Don Snyder, icon around these parts. I guess it's his 93rd birthday today. Happy birthday to Don Snyder. Ooh.
And Urgati is slammed down nicely by Kenny Young. Or Kevin Young. And NYPD will have their defense back on the field. Tri-State with good field position, down by 6, John. It just seems this game has slowed down. 8:23 to go in the third quarter. See, the LAPD Centurions tuning in. Let's go Finest. James Norton, shout out to James. He's always tuning in. Melinda Wood says, let's go Tri-State Shields. And Alexandra says, let's go Tri-State. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is on the Law Enforcement Officers Weekend Facebook page and our primary streaming service for today's game, the First Responders Network. Davin takes off.
Davin on the keeper.
And he's brought down by Blaze.
Blaze on the stop.
Picked up about 3.
2nd and 7. The ball is placed down at the 43.
Alexandra says, go Bryce Brown, also known as Go Munch. So proud of my little brother. Thank you and all first responders for all you do each and every day. And John, that's a good point because, you know, you're here to call a football game, but at the same time, it's more than that. This is secondary to what these guys do off the field.
Absolutely. Man, our country cannot operate the way it does without all of these tremendous guys, and they're tough on the football field and tough off it. All the men and women are first responders.
And Ricketts with a good tackle there, bringing up 3rd and long. And, you know, whether it's NYPD, Tri-State, or FDNY, you know, Tri-State has guys from all different backgrounds and all different parts of the Tri-State area on the football team. NYPD doing a good job on defense. And again, the special teams, it's been an issue for NYPD all season long. We saw Sheridan had a punt blocked in the Fun City Bowl that Evan Flowers wound up scoring for a touchdown. And here we go. Davis was in motion. Davin somehow escaped, got rid of it, and Davin took a hard hit. Bryce Brown. And Davin lost his helmet. Pete Lazar got in there with the quarterback knockdown.
Yeah, and he got rolled up on. He rolled up on number 74 for Tri-State, Greg Laurie. What could be a dangerous play. Laurie comes out unscathed. Big number 74 on the offensive line for Tri-State. Lining up at tight end. That last series, it's a big man out there. Now just stepped off the field, so we'll see a punt from Tri-State. I don't know. I think it might be time to get a little taste of number 11, Bryce Brown.
Woodburn to punt from his own 40. Sky-high kick, end over end. McGrane calls for the fair catch at his own 20. That was a 40-yard punt for Thomas Woodburn. Woodburn showed off the leg today, John. He's been impressive.
He has.
He does it all.
Credit to Woodburn. A couple big punts.
Kicking, kickoffs, field goals, everything. And after one possession of O'Connell, Ryan is back in the game. I've got to wonder what that was about.
Yeah, you know, maybe it was the heat. Give him a little breather. I don't know.
Could be.
These guys are exhausted.
Ryan is a big kid, or a big man, I should say, and Roll just had his face mask grabbed. I don't know how the officials missed that.
Yes, Danny's head kind of snapped around on that play, but no flag.
Roll making the catch. You got to speak with Roll before the game, a kid with his head square on his shoulders.
Yeah, really hard-nosed football player, as you mentioned earlier in the game, Tom. One of the toughest guys on this PD team, according to the head coach, Kevin Shanahan. And Danny has emerged as the #1 back. Like you said, does so many good things well. As a receiver and quiet leader on this team.
And Roll, there he is. Speaking of him, taken off.
And you know, being an undersized player, you gotta have toughness, or it's tough to survive out there. And Danny has it in spades.
There was a 9-yard run by Roll right there. 8-9-yard run.
Well, he hasn't gotten as many looks as I thought he would today in terms of carries, but we still have a lot of football to play, and he's been an integral part of the NYPD offense all day, and he's certainly a joy to watch.
Former safety. Trips to the left. McGrain in motion, left to right, across the formation. Low snap by Frigerio. Ryan looks to elude pressure, and he'll throw it in. Interception by Brian Malone. And Ryan trips him up. Malone finally down at the 11. And John, you want to talk about a momentum switch?
There it is. Brian Malone really telegraphed that perfectly. And we've got probably an unsportsmanlike. A flag goes down long after the play ended. But I just so happened to be focusing on Brian Malone on that play, and his eyes must have lit up. He telegraphed that pass perfectly, stepped in front.
Injury.
And made the interception. I like that kid's game, number 44, Brian Malone.
We have a player down for Tri-State. So you identify who that is in just a moment. It looks like number 50, Matthew Ramos, is down. Hopefully he's okay. And we're going to keep it right here for now.
We're almost back up on his feet.
Yep. Up awfully quick. Folks, and now NYPD just turned the ball over. Tri-State had an opportunity to tie the game and potentially take the lead. So, John, your thoughts on this drive with Tri-State and what they need to do? I think they have to get Bryce Brown much more involved.
I do too. He hasn't touched the ball a whole lot today, and the dynamic playmaker that he is, you'd like to see him get a little bit more involved in the offense. And now's a better time than any for this Tri-State team to get things going. Down by 6 with just over 4 minutes remaining in quarter number 3.
Number 11, Bryce Brown now, quarterback.
Davis in motion. Beckles is slammed down by Basabe. Gain of a couple. Bring up second down.
So we're finally getting to see Bryce Brown kind of keeper plays that Pastore has in store. Should be interesting.
Trips to the left, and this is Bryce Brown. We know what happened last time he threw. He throws it and it is caught. Gain of 5 there. Brown connects with Urgati.
A nice pass by Bryce Brown.
3rd and 4 coming up.
And this is big third down for the Shields.
3rd and 4. And this is probably within Woodburn's range from what we've seen. Davin in the shotgun. Davis in motion around the formation. Beckles will have the first down and more. Artis finally gets him down. A good run by Marlon Beckles.
A great run by Beckles. He had a lot of room out there. Good job of the offensive line. And the Shields, Tom, just like that, they've got a first down. And they're inside the 20-yard line.
That was a gain of 8, and Shanahan is pleading with the official right now.
Seemed like the cleanest.
Oh.
And this is Brown again, incomplete.
Was intended for Papa Coda.
And that's going to bring up second down. 2:10 to go in the third quarter, folks.
Tom, I think it's, with the mellowness of this second half, it's really hard to read, but this game has been a really close game.
It has been. Low scoring as well, but we all know that could change within the blink of an eye. Bryce Brown is the quarterback right now. Throws off his back foot. Pastore unable to reel it in, and Healy and Pastore, former teammates. Pastore knows the NYPD well, got to speak with Nick pregame, and Nick said he watched Ryan Davin play against the NYPD since he was 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
Not to show Davin's age, but Pastore's a young guy. He views himself as a good route runner, very versatile player, plays loose. And he played baseball at Dowling College. Dowling no longer exists. So back to football for Pastore. 3rd and 10, 2:03 to go. Brown looking, throws, intercepted by Kevin Healy.
Wow. Yeah, that's one that Bryce would like to have back.
Yeah, you can't have that. You cannot have that. That's going to be the second Tri-State turnover. Brown had a nice 51-yard touchdown pass, but also the interception there. Not good. And O'Connell will retake the field. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a heat issue. Again, you never want to speculate too much into that, but it's interesting to see O'Connell and Ryan here splitting reps at the quarterback position.
The first that we've seen of O'Connell.
Roll with the handoff, swallowed up by Johnson, no gain.
I can't recall him playing in any of the other games that we've announced at the quarterback position, at least.
Kenny Johnson has been active today, had a sack earlier. Comment from Ali Vecchione. Let's go Posh, number 33, NYPD Finest. Thank you very much for the comment, Ali. Folks, if you're watching the live stream on the Law Enforcement Facebook page, make sure to go check us out at the First Responders Network. Download the app on your phone. Get all exclusive First Responders content. You can get features, documentaries, live games like this today. O'Connell muffed the snap, and he's lucky to bounce back on it. 5-yard loss for O'Connell, and all of a sudden, after the Healy interception, NYPD's dealing with 3rd and long with under a minute to go in the third, which this will likely be the last play of the quarter.
3rd and 15.
So O'Connell, 3rd and long, and this is danger zone. 3rd and long, backed up in your own territory. You cannot by any means turn it over here. O'Connell did appear in the Tri-State game back on April 9th. He was just 2 for 8 in that game. He's rolling left here, looking, fires, throws, caught. Mike Miller, he's not going to get to the first down marker.
Big hit by Raheem Bradshaw.
And that's going to do it for the end of the 3rd quarter. At the end of 3, the score is still New York's Finest 16, Tri-State Shields 10. We're going to throw it for another break here, send it down to Crystal Bailey for an end of the 3rd quarter interview with Leo Weekend. Crystal, take it away.
Yes, I've got Austin Glickman here, the president and founder of the Law Enforcement Officers Weekend, a nonprofit specifically for law enforcement officers. Tell me a little bit about what it is and how you started it.
Sure. So Law Enforcement Officers Weekend is a 501c3 nonprofit, started in 2017, but the idea behind the actual organization started back in 2014 when I was still in the police academy with the NYPD. Prior to myself getting into the academy, there were some not so friendly media outlets that were portraying law enforcement in a really negative light. And then 3 weeks prior to my actual graduation, officers Lou and Ramos in the NYPD were assassinated. So our graduation was a lot different compared to many others that graduated in Madison Square Garden. And we left with a final salute to the 2 officers who just lost their lives, and we left the garden in a really somber moment. So I went online one night and I said, there's got to be an organization out there that allows cops and their families just to get away, relax, unwind. I couldn't find anything. So took it upon myself and a few of my friends who are now board members to create what now is Law Enforcement Officers Weekend. And what we do is we bring the families of injured and fallen officers 2 weekend getaways, all expenses paid throughout the entire country.
That sounds like something that really helps them relax and kind of take their mind off the hard work that they do every day. Is that right?
It's exactly right, and especially the families and the officers that are battling from an injury, whether it's mental or physical. It's really tough, and we make sure that they come to these weekends and they can leave everything back at home. And we provide them with canine demonstrations, concerts, fireworks displays, vintage police car shows. We do anything in our power to try to de-stress and unwind these officers, and we also open it to the general public. So the public comes, active and retired officers come, their friends and their families, and they join us, and we surround these families that are hurting and struggling with just the love and power of the Thin Blue Line.
That's awesome. It sounds like a beautiful way to serve the community and to serve your fellow officers. So that's the Law Enforcement Officers Weekend. Look them up. If you're interested and you want to have a weekend to yourself and you're a law enforcement officer, you know who to reach, Austin Glickman.
That's right.
Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
And back to you all.
That was Austin Glickman. Great interview there by Crystal Bailey. She's been spot on today, John, and as we enter quarter number 4, Tri-State trailing 16-10. They have the football, and Beckles with the run, wrapped up by Keegan and Blaze. John, it's been a low-scoring game, as we sort of expected, I think. You know, we saw a lot of I-formation off-tackle runs in the first meeting that NYPD did to chew up a lot of the clock, and this game has a similar feel.
It does, and just kind of stagnated there towards the end of the 3rd quarter. And who do we have Ryan up? Is that Tyler?
Yeah, that is Tyler Ryan warming up
on the sideline. So perhaps he'll be coming back into the ball game.
Yep. Frank, hopefully that answers your question. And Denise Grande, Anthony O'Connell, Island Trees OB, go NYPD as Ugarte throws the football. It is caught nicely there for Tri-State. That was Papakota.
Ugarte with the left-handed laser. Papakota with the catch.
Hey, John, we've seen 3 different Shields throw a pass today. Davin, Brown, and Ugarte.
I know.
Davin and Brown each have an interception. Brown also has a 51-yard touchdown pass. And Ugarte also has a fumble recovery. What do you know? Men that could do it all. Brown is the quarterback. Hands off Beckles. Blaze Wraps him up. Pedroli will clean up the trash and limping off the field is Anthony Lombardi, number 52. Hopefully he's all right. As you see, some of the second-string defensive linemen checking out now, like Pedroli and Farrell. Good players, very deep defensive line, John. NYPD, their bread and butter is the trenches. And that's what good football teams are made out of. Good trenches. You build in and then you work your way out. Brown throws a missile. It's caught by Ugarte. Ingram on the stop.
Ugarte looks to be a little shaken up.
Yeah, he's down. That's not good. Ugarte's been active.
That might be a left leg. That doesn't look good. No, it's the right leg.
NYPD showing a little zone on that play with Ingram.
I think it's a cramp.
Could be the heat, if you think about it. Like you just said, John, it's hot out. And hopefully Ugarte's okay. And looks like Pastore walking a little gingerly as well next to the official. And while Ugarte is down, we're going to step aside for a quick break. We will be back in just a few moments, and we're going to step aside for a quick break while the injury on the field gets wrapped up.
We put the uniform on, we risk our lives every night.
Going left onto 2nd Street, but bail out. Who else is inside?
Let me borrow your bike, man. Right here, we got it.
You're going to the fire. Here, I got you. Hold on.
Come on, Nick. Oh, God.
At first, I didn't think he was going to run.
Stop!
Be safe, look after yourself, and look after one another.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. When you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every day.
Folks, welcome back to Farmingdale, New York, site of the 2022 National Public Safety Football League Championship for Division I, featuring NYPD and the Tri-State Shields. I'm Tom Scavetta with John Heffernan. John, we just saw a key injury to a player for Tri-State, David Ugarte, a player who's been very active today.
Yeah, it seems to be favoring that left leg. Initially thought that might have been a cramp, but looks a little bit worse than that, but we're glad to see him get off the field of his own accord after being worked on by the training staff for the Tri-State Shields. But it's back to football, Tom. And Davin, who was replaced briefly by Bryce Brown, is back into the ball game.
Davin fires, intercepted again by Ricketts, and no one's going to stop him. Ricketts, Jamar Edwards, the only chance. Edwards, what a play by Mark Ricketts, picking off Ryan Davin for his second interception of the game, John. Oh, you just mentioned Davin back in the game, and then that happens.
Yeah, Gibson showing a lot of speed to catch up to the PD player and to prevent another 6 points going on the board for the NYPD. But just like that, Davin's got to be shaking his head over that one as well. And it's, again, a story of turnovers, Tom, as this game continues to march on here in the fourth quarter.
3 turnovers for Tri-State. PD still clinging to a 6-point lead, and they're looking to add to it. Now would be the ideal time to do it, create some distance separation. Tri-State has had their opportunities, but they've been unable to cash in. Jeff Pastore mentioned, you know, in the first game, the score didn't dictate what happened. You know, Bryce Brown was perfect. His reads were near perfect. As long as we moved the chains, we're okay, he said, but they need to do a lot better at protecting the quarterback, and that's when these turnovers are happening. When NYPD applies pressure, they're forced to get the ball out quick, and here we have a full house formation, and the handoff to Roll. He's got some running room. He might get in. Let's see. Roll dives towards the pylon. It is a touchdown.
And that is vintage Danny Roll. He found a little space around the end, and he had a laser focus on that pylon, Tom. Dives, just gets it over the plane, inside the pylon. And Danny Roll, man, that kid is tough and smart. And the NYPD is now up 22-10, Tom. And I said, you asked what you thought the second half would be, and I said the momentum I'd like to carry over in the second half, and it's done just that. PD, after a very slow start, has finally started to wear him down. But without these turnovers, these teams are very equally matched, though, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Posh, the snapper, Fitzgerald, the holder. Snap is good, hold is great. Kick on its way, it is good. So NYPD takes a 23-10 lead off the Danny Roll 11-yard touchdown run. And, John, it's interesting because Roll very quick on his feet, swiveling his way into the end zone, making up for the fumble he had earlier in the game.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with that one right there. Young guy, Danny Roll.
And in a few minutes, we're going to have another interview with Crystal Bailey. We'll let you know when that's taking place. She has been very active down on the sideline today,
Crystal's
John.
working hard, digging up some good stories and some cool guests. And Tom, as you mentioned, with the First Responders Network, there's lots to choose from a programming point of view. If you check out their website, got some really cool live reality TV shows. If you're a fan of cop shows, crime shows, First Responders Network, folks, is for you. I had a chance to check out the app, watch some pretty cool videos.
Trailer of us.
And we had a little trailer of us pumping up the game today.
Fun City Bowl. Courtney will kick off. It'll be interesting to see who returns the kickoff with Ugarte hurt. And that's Jamar Edwards who will just let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
The Tri-State's got they say no time came off the clock there? Okay. 11:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Tri-State with the football. We've gone back and forth, seesaw affair. Let's see what Tri-State can do.
We've got a comment from James Norton saying First Responders Network. Yes, James, this game is being also streamed on the First Responders Network. It is an app you could download on your phone or tablet.
It's really easy, James. Just go to the web, go to the app, and they've got a big icon, flag, link for our game here today out on Long Island.
Tommy Herrick says, Mike Silazitsky, Tri-State could use a guy like Lawrence D. Simone right about now. 3 touchdowns in 2 games versus PD. That's right. D. Simone had a pair of touchdowns in the Fun City Bowl against the PD. Tommy Herrick bringing up some good stats. Brown hesitates. He's going to take off, and he's running, and he's dragged down by Lombardi.
Brown, down by Lombardi.
And Davin out, Brown in. And the results on that play, not a whole lot different. I would have liked to have seen Brown maybe get involved a little bit more in the running game. Such a great athlete and a really good, smart kid. Nice, really nice to be able to talk to him.
Yeah, he was, again, we mentioned, we spent the most time with him this morning during the interview process, and Brown started at quarterback against PD back on April 7th, or April 9th. Another run. Beckles, full head of steam. Mike Malone on the stop.
Tom, that hole was absolutely gigantic for Beckles. Great job by the O-line.
Phil Johnson had a nice pancake block.
I gotta love the big man for Tri-State. Playing left guard.
Well, Scott Pedrick, left tackle, is even bigger. Local guy from Levittown, New York. Played at SUNY Plattsburgh. And the catch is made. This is Beckles. Shoestring tackle made by Blaze, and there is a flag. Let's see.
Pedrick's gotten a lot of playing time today at left tackle.
I had a feeling it was an offside, otherwise the play would have been blown dead. As Tri-State will advance 5 yards forward.
He's got to be killing Rich Pastore right now, Tom.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anything he can do to get these guys going.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Davin checks out, so Brown still in the game. Edwards in the backfield with him now. Papakota in the slot left. Davis in the slot right. Twin receivers to each side. Davis makes the catch. Plunges forward for a first down for Tri-State.
I think he was down.
He was down, but the ball was jarred loose in the process of going down, so Tri-State will retain possession. Papakota.
What a great second effort by Papakota to get that first down.
Papakota, a captain out of the Norwalk Fire Department. Brian Grogan says, "Go Phil Johnson. I hope his son is wearing his FDNY jersey like he did at the hockey game." That's right. Had a NYPD FDNY hockey game earlier this year. Brown in the pocket. Looking, throws, caught.
Brown.
Fergati back in the game.
And a couple of solid completions for Bryce Brown.
You know, as much as we've called David's name, that's only his 4th catch. And again, he's also thrown the ball a lot. He had the fumble recovery. 9 minutes to go in the 4th, 9:08 to be exact. And Brown looking to go underneath here.
There he
He's taken
goes.
off. He's got another Tri-State first down. Sean Keegan on the tackle.
And that's got to be his longest gain of the day, Tom. And it comes at a really good time. But Bryce Brown showing his ability to scramble and elude a couple of tacklers for another first down. And just like that, Bryce Brown putting together a very impressive drive for the Tri-State Shields.
He's been marvelous. Beckles, the handoff. He's stopped. Pedroli.
Ooh.
And a penalty.
That's your guy. That's your guy. I guess it must have been something that we missed on that play.
Keegan's a little shaken up. Wasabi will check back in, and NYPD looked like it was against them.
Let's see. It'll be interesting to see what the call is. Of course, Peter Lazar right in the thick of things, as always. I think it might have. I think it was Lazar who had that initial shove that got things started, and it's going to back up the NYPD.
Yeah, and this is really unfortunate here. NYPD's defense has been plagued with penalties on this drive. First that, the unsportsmanlike, the false start.
And this is a big break, Tom, for the Tri-State Shields. They got to take advantage of this. They need points desperately as we approach the 8-minute mark left to go in this ball game.
Brown looking, fires, throws to Pastore. Oh, deflected by Healy, broken up.
Healy covered a lot of ground on that play, Tom. But in essence, throwing the ball into triple coverage right there was Brown.
8:10 to go in the fourth. Shields trailing by 13. Mark Setti checking in, saying, "Let's go Shields." Romaine Artis also commenting.
That's got to be brother, perhaps?
A family member of Marquise Artis. See, checking into the game for Tri-State is Chris Cribbs on the near side. Papakota, the man in motion. And it's an option play here. They faked it to Beckles. Another penalty flag as Pedroli makes the tackle, and Healy got jarred by Johnson late.
That was a big mismatch right there.
Yeah, I'm not
big
sure.
Number 78 for the Shields. Actually, freight training, number 15. That was Healy.
Holding on Tri-State. So take a step forward and a step back. Again, that is not an ideal way to help your team out when they need it most. This is it. If Tri-State doesn't score on this possession, it's going to be very difficult.
Awfully tough.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a 2-possession game. You need at least 2 touchdowns to get back in it.
Twin receivers to each side for Brown. Again, Brown started the game at receiver. Now he's in at QB. Brown, drag route, one hopped Blaze, and he was hit. Good pressure by Daniel Effinger. We've called his name a lot today. Lombardi will check in along with Pete Lazar. Timeout Shields. So we're going to see if Crystal has somebody down on the field. We're going to send it down to Crystal Bailey, who has a fan. And Crystal, take it away.
Group of fans here for number 72 on NYPD Finest. Can you tell me your name?
I'm Gina.
And Gina, how do you know number 72 and what's his name?
He's my boyfriend. His name is Scott.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about Scott and his time and why he decided to become a police officer.
So Scott has been a police officer for a couple of years. He followed in his grandfather's footsteps, who died in the line of duty. So he wanted to, honor him. So he's been on the force for a couple of years now, and he's in the going to be in the detective unit. He's in narcotics.
That's awesome. You sound like a very supportive girlfriend, and you've got a crew here, and there's several more that you can't see here on screen. So tell me a little bit about, you're proud of him, obviously.
I'm very proud of him. He does a great job. He protects the city and protects everyone, and he's a really great police officer. And
all right. Well, thank you so much, Gina and crew.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. And thank you guys so much. This is fans of number 72. Thank you, John. Thank you, Tom.
Oh, no, thank you, Crystal. That's the girlfriend of Scott McDevitt, starting left tackle for the Finest. Nice interview. Bryce Brown taking off. He's got some room. Look at him go. He's inside the red zone. He's inside the 15.
Wow.
No flags.
See that little deke by Brownie there?
Oh, yeah, Bryce Brown. We talked to him pregame. He said he's a runner. That's his first
We're starting
instinct.
to see a couple of big runs just on this drive. And waiting to the fourth quarter. Might be a little too late, but they're starting to chip away.
And by the way, just want to say great camera work by John Wasserman down there.
All right, Johnny.
We got a lot of J's on this staff. We have to identify them.
Absolutely. Another player shaken up.
John Wasserman's another post guy.
Really?
CW Post is everywhere, yeah. You know it. It's all over NYPD.
They're going to measure this.
Yeah, measurement upcoming. We'll see. It was 3rd and 20. According to scoreboard, 7:43 to go in the 4th. It's going to be ruled short. 4th or 3rd and inches coming up. And check on the stream here, see if we have any other comments. Tommy Herrick, holding calls when NYPD is continually giving up first downs on the ground. We've seen this before, too. That's your guy, Tommy Herrick.
Yes, Tommy's my guy. Always will be.
Shout out, Tommy. Tommy's developed as a nice receiver for the fire department. Also the holder. He's done some holding. So, contributor on offense and special teams.
Tommy, you should be out here today, Tommy. Come on. Undefeated FDNY.
And you know what's interesting? I'm looking at Scott Pedrick right now, and I just remembered he had a kickoff in the FDNY game back at Bethpage. Remember at the end of the game, FDNY was up by a lot. We're like, wow, who is this mammoth taking a kickoff? It was Scott Pedrick, number 83. Brown is running, takes off. Basabe with a nice play.
Like he just read that absolutely beautiful. Number 55. I think that was Malone. Was that Wasabe? And there's another flag. Was that Malone? That was number 55.
I think both of them were in the mix there.
Okay. Well, it was Mike Malone and Louis Wasabe.
Good combination of tackling there.
And that looked to be a planned play, not a busted play at all, designed for Bryce to scamper on the quarterback keep. But PD didn't bite at all.
Unfortunately, conduct is the call against Tri-State.
As we see George Burke walking on the sideline there.
There he is.
.707 is all that remains. Great job, team, says Patrick, sending to all our first responders and military personnel, sending blessings, that is. Eunice Miller says, hi, Janet, wish you were here, sweating it out with us. Wow, that's a dedicated fan. Tuning into the live stream and sitting here out in the hot weather.
Get some Italian ices going after this game.
Pretty sure there's a Ralph's or something over here. There's got to be. John, you know, you just ruined my day with that comment. Now I have to get an Italian ice after the game.
I know. Or what do you call those? The flavor ice? The long popsicles? Or I don't know. What do we call them as kids? I forget.
I forget as well.
Flavor ice, Italian ice.
Twin receivers to each side for Tyler Ryan. Handoff to roll. Tripped up nicely by Brian Malone.
Hey, he's just impossible not to love that guy.
Oh yeah,
just a real roamer too. Nose for the football, great vision on the field. He covers a lot of ground and hits hard. We're talking about number 44 for the Tri-State Shields.
I mean, I'm looking at potential players of the game so far. Mark Ricketts had those 2 interceptions. Kevin
Ryan
Healy
Malone might be part of the conversation. I mean, they're losing, but.
And also Tyler Ryan. I mean, 2 touchdown passes. McGrain. And throw out there to Ramirez. Chris McGrain also had a 44-yard kick return in addition to his touchdown catch, so he should definitely be in the conversation as well.
He quieted down a little bit, towards the end of this game. But he is dynamic and has made some huge plays today, Tom, as you mentioned, the touchdown and the kick return, to name a few. My MVP is that little one in the pink dress. She's just been a rock star all day today.
Yeah.
Looks like maybe the daughter of one of the PD players. Young kid, adorable, helping clean up, sticking by mom, behaving, enjoying herself.
The pitch out to roll. Gets away from one defender, gets close to midfield as Rodriguez got in the way. And, you know, this is a good job by NYPD running the football, but I don't, even though the clock is running here,
yeah,
you want to try to go north and south. That's the best way to gain yardage in this type of scenario.
Yeah, and like you said, eating a little bit of clock, but still a lot of time with the 5-minute mark approaching.
Gregory Abro says, let's go Finest, bring it home. Great defensive play. Sheridan on to punt. Cribbs is back to return. He gets run into again.
How is there no flag on
no
that play?
Flag by Malone, and this will be down by Landsberg inside the 10. And Tri-State player picked it up. Did Cribbs touch it?
If he did, it's NYPD football.
No, he did not.
Yeah. Yes.
I am very confused. They missed the running into the kicker by Brian Malone. And then I thought Cribbs might have touched it from this angle. And now the officials need to have a conversation about it. And that ball will be down at the 5-yard line. That is officially going to be, John, you're not going to believe this one, 55-yard punt for Mike Sheridan.
It's been the battle
of
the punts today. That's the longest one.
That's his second 55-yard punt of the game.
I thought it was 52, the first one. Either way.
Possibly. Very close in calculations. It's tough. You know, we don't have a true spotter with us, so you're doing these calculations in your head. You got to be good at math.
Sheridan got clobbered, though.
Yeah. It's like, so just an update, folks. At the end of the game, we will have the trophy presentation before the post-game interviews. Here comes the blitz from PD. Papakota dropped it.
Papakota just took his eye off it.
Yeah.
A little too soon. Started running before putting that safely in. And it's a drop for Papakota, and the clock now down to 4:37 remaining.
Yeah.
Sheridan might be in the conversation for MVP. The first punter ever. And, Tom, you know, moving forward, if you're Kevin Shanahan, though, I mean, the season that PD has put together here with just one loss, and it looks like they're going to win this today as well, you got to be happy if you're Kevin Shanahan after the devastating loss against the fire department.
Brown's going to take off. He beats Ricketts. Wow, this guy has some speed. And he has a first down. I mean, give Bryce Brown some credit. No quit mentality, down by 13 points, under 5 minutes to go. You're backed up deep. Just trying to make a play for his football team there. Again, he has a lot of heart, no pun intended. He did attend Sacred Heart.
There you go.
As a wide receiver before transferring to Western New England, where he then became a quarterback. He has played both positions for the Shields. He started out this game as a receiver. Davin has since then been replaced, and you know, they've kind of been going back and forth. Shouldn't say replaced, but now it's just Brown in the game here.
You surprised by Johnson's participation today? And I guess it's just offensively, PD has a lot of tools to choose from.
They do. Yeah, very good toolbox of weapons for the NYPD. You see here some reserve defensive lineman checking in the game. And the throw is batted away by Ricketts. And I got to tell you something, it might be Mark Ricketts, John.
You know, what I love about that play, and to your point, Tom, is, you know, with 3:35 remaining and PD up by 13, you know, Ricketts just shows what he's all about right there. Got to be exhausted on close to 100, over 100 degrees on that field.
Yeah.
And coming through with that play at this juncture of the game, I think it kind of seals it up for Ricketts as far as our MVP.
Folks, again, want to appreciate everybody for tuning in here today on the First Responders Network and the Law Enforcement Officers Weekend Facebook page, the two primary streaming sites for today's game. Ricketts with another tackle on Davis, who made the catch. Ricketts has been all over the place. We may have just answered our own question, John. So Edwards is the back. Papakota and Ergati are split out left here. Davis in the slot right. Far right, it's Pastore. Brown taken off. He's got some room. He's got the first. If Bryce Brown has to use his legs to get some room, he'll do it. Here's the only issue. 3:01 left in the game.
Scott Pedrick got beat on that play, and he's got to be exhausted. Flushing Brown out of the pocket.
I don't know how half of these guys are still in there with the heat today. And that's nothing on the players. That's just more about the weather. I mean, look, Bryce Brown is down on one knee right now. You see a PD player down as well. We're going to step aside for a quick break here. We'll be right back with the final 3 minutes of the national championship game here on the First Responders Network.
We put the uniform on, we risk our lives every night.
Going left onto 2nd Street, but bail out. Who else is inside?
Let me borrow your bike, man. Right here, we got it.
You're going to the fire. Here, I got you. Hold on.
Come on, Nick. Oh, no.
At first, I didn't think he was going to run.
Stop!
Folks, welcome back to Farmingdale, New York, here at Don Snyder Stadium, site of the 2022 National Championship for the NPSFL. New York's Finest leading the Tri-State Shields 23-10. Will Pierce just helped off the field. My name is Tom Scavetta, joined alongside John Heffernan. If you're just tuning in, John, what a game it's been for the Finest. Good, stout defense has helped them get to this point.
Oh, without a doubt, and there's a great example of it right there as Brown goes down on a big gang tackle by the NYPD.
That sack was made by Frank Kalmberg.
Okay.
On the sack.
Nice.
Jeanette McIntosh says, let's go NYPD. Melinda, go Shields. Shields giving a valiant effort. I got to give it to them. They're hanging tough. Much better performance than last time. You know, they got ahead early.
Second and 13.
I mean, they were up 10-0. If you think about it.
I mean, you know, some cool playmaking, some cool play calling by Jeff Pastore and his coaching staff.
False start, and I don't blame these linemen. They're in these stances all game long. You know, they're going to flinch from time to time in this heat. Let's give Bryce Brown some credit. He's still out there running around trying to get guys the ball. It feels like this drive has been going on forever, and it's still going. They've barely moved. I mean, there's under 2 minutes to go in the game, 1:40 to go. Rigatti, the lefty.
He's got some
There's
time.
room, finds Papakota.
Get out.
Gets to midfield. He's a little short. James Ingram made the play. 1:20 to go, and again, Tri-State not giving up. They're trying to get on the scoreboard one more time. Bryce Brown now lined up on the near side at receiver. Papakota in the slot. Pastore slot right. Thomas Davis far right. The back is Marlon Beckles. Papakota, the man in motion. Rigatti. And it goes off of. This is a broken play. Papakota. It was a live ball, and he ended up getting the first down.
It hit Papakota, and he picked it up. That's another first today. We had one off the goal post that went in. Papakota gets hit with the snap, picks it up, and a bit of luck there for the Shields.
1 minute remaining. Rigatti takes the snap. He's under duress by Tejada, and he gets the sack. Manny Tejada. Last time out against Tri-State, he had 5 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. And now he's on the scoreboard with a sack, or the stat sheet, I should say. NYPD, I believe that's their 4th sack of the game. The other 3 belong to Ravello, Effinger, and Malone.
They had 3 sacks against Tri-State the first time they played.
I feel a little disco right now.
That's
90s
right,
theme.
I'm telling you, yeah. This is D-Light? I'm not sure who this is.
Also, shout out to George Zayas, who helped put this broadcast together today. Joe Ryder has been phenomenal in the booth. All our cameramen, John Wasserman, Lumumba David, Mike Lombardi, Bahir Mustafa, they've been awesome. Crystal Bailey, Rob Campbell, Mike Green, everybody from the First Responders Network has been spectacular.
They're going to get ready with the Gatorade dump. Incognito, number 27 and number 61 for PD.
It's Kevin Young.
And listen, it's the one Gatorade bath that I'd welcome in this. And it's Robert Marzano sneaking up, trying to find Shanahan.
And Brown is going to throw here. He's going deep.
Oh,
deflected by Mustafa Young.
Mustafa Young showing some incredible athleticism to get a piece of that ball. Great job.
NYPD on the verge of winning their 12th national championship. NYPD won the last 2 national championships in 2019 and 2018. This is the first one since 2019, so this will be back-to-back-to-back for NYPD. Even though the fire department had the best record this year, and then last year, of course, the COVID year. Brown looking, finds his target. Pastore brought down by Blaze and Keegan.
Pastore, by the way, gets my coolest cleats of the game award.
I'd agree with that.
But I'm sure he'd trade those in for a victory today. And these guys must be absolutely exhausted.
They're going for the Gatorade bath. on Shanahan, and they're going right
Here it
now.
is,
Here
here
they
it is.
come.
Oh!
And that's going to do it.
Shanahan, exclamation point, the victory, the Gatorade bath, and what a beautiful moment for the New York City Police Department. A great season. Their lone loss coming against the Fire Department of New York, and the handshake line has begun. These guys have so much respect for each other on the job, and they get to forget about that for 60 minutes, Tom, and that's what makes this league special. It's what made today special.
Absolutely.
Win or lose. And Tri-State, you mentioned them getting the championship game in their first year, but all of that aside, 3 years in, and this team is here to stay. They are legitimate. And they're well coached. Jeff Pastore, we want to appreciate everything Jeff has done for us access-wise. The same for Kevin Shanahan and his group.
NYPD wins their 12th national championship by a final score of 23-10. They've now won the national title in 3 straight years. Tri-State comes up short, but reaches the national championship game in their first year of eligibility. Shout out to Jeff Pastore and his guys. Could not say enough about them. And NYPD, they now have won 5 out of the last 8 national championships.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the guys in the fire department might have something to say about that. But listen, whatever there is in the rule book or the league rule book, I'm sure that'll be looked at this next off season to make sure everything gets worked out in the seasons to come. But what entertaining football. What a great season. It started back in April, folks, and we have concluded the 2022 Football League here in the National Public Safety Football League. And it's always fun, just always fun. These guys care so much about them, their teammates, the program, the league, the games. And summer officially has begun for these guys. They're going to go some well-deserved time off from the rigors of this football program.
25 years of this league, the NPSFL, with their primary charity, the Ronald McDonald House. Roughly 350 houses in the area, or around the nation, I should say.
And there's going to be a
trophy presentation.
The trophy prezzo.
And who would you give your player of the game to? Are we in alignment with Ricketts?
I think Ricketts certainly is deserving, without a doubt.
Yeah. I'd definitely say Mark Ricketts had a great game. Chris McGrain had a great game. Kyle Johnson, those guys are always great at the receiver position.
We didn't hear a whole lot from Q.
Yeah. Sorry, John. What did you say?
I was saying one name we didn't. I expect to see a little bit more of out of Kieran Fitzgerald today. I know he's a young player, but we were hyping him quite a bit in the pregame. Sometimes being selfless and letting other teammates shine is just as good. And it was good enough today for the New York City Police Department.
Absolutely.
As they congregate at midfield and interact with their competitors today, the Tri-State City Shields.
And Kevin Shanahan, now in his 13th season, winning another national title. Tri-State led this game by a score of 10-0 NYPD. They scored a touchdown, missed the extra point, and then they took a halftime lead of 16-10. Only one touchdown was scored in the entire second half combined. And that touchdown was scored by you-know-who, Danny Roll.
Danny Roll, and the way those first 15 minutes went, Tom, I said, oh my goodness, Tri-State has come to play today. This could be a blowout. But credit the New York City Police Department for slowly chipping away, not panicking. And I think that's why they play 4 quarters.
You can't say enough. Tyler Ryan had 2 touchdown passes today. Chris McGreen, 4 catches, 20-yard touchdown reception. Kyle Johnson had a pair of catches as well and a 14-yard touchdown reception. Defensively, NYPD had 4 sacks. Brian Malone had an interception. For Tri-State, that was. Malone had the interception. Davin had 2 picks for Tri-State. Bryce Brown had the 51-yard touchdown pass to Nick Pastore. You know, great to see Jeff's son score a touchdown today. Nick Pastore, a new father.
That absolutely, and you know, I think with some of these younger guys too, to hear the respect that the NYPD was showing there for Nick Pastore, saying, hey, look, we're going to be doubling him all day. We pay a lot of attention to him, and despite that, on a really cool play, Pastore gets the first touchdown of the game.
Absolutely. Cannot say enough about Mark Ricketts and what he's done today, just announced as the MVP. But yes, you're right about Pastore. Good young player, hard-nosed guy, used to play for NYPD, so I know might be a little bittersweet moment for him, but you know, he's happy to be on Tri-State now, and he had a good performance today, specifically at the receiver position. And you see there, Ricketts just announced. And we're going to have Crystal Bailey interview Shanahan and potentially Ricketts as well once the celebration ends here, John.
All right.
And what a season it's been. What a season it's
has been so much fun. I hope we get to do more of these next season, and so we continue to grow and develop, just like the league and our broadcast partners. Tom, it's been a pleasure working with you again this season.
Absolutely.
I appreciate all your help and staunch preparation. And
we gotta combine like 6 hours of sleep last night, you'd say, between the two of us.
Was announcing a big boxing show in New York City, which is a lot of fun. We might have to find a place in our next fight card for the budding boxer for the NYPD.
Yeah, and I've got to say, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year with the FDNY and the NYPD. As executive producer of the First Responders Network, Rob Campbell is bringing over player of the game Mark Ricketts, who had those 2 interceptions, and head coach Kevin Shanahan, who has the trophy in hand.